So I guess I will press the button for it to go live. Okay, start.
Like the presentation, man.
Does it work? Okay, it's okay. The stream should be working. So we have Najmul here again, and we will be drawing some Diablo type of stuff in here today. So I prepared like this huge type of thing. Okay, it's
Hey,
working. Even the audio is
all right,
working.
yeah, I'm getting the feed now, which is good.
Yeah, can you see all the cards?
Yeah, I can see them, man.
Okay, so
This is crazy. I'm getting so excited now.
to be honest, I was not prepared. There are so many.
Yo, I just realized we're in the orbs in the corner. So cool.
Yeah, I was not ready. Like, there are so many monsters in Diablo 1 without the Hellfire and without any like special bosses. So basically, just go through A to L and from 1 to 7 and pick a card.
Are you sure there's that many?
Yeah.
Damn, what? That can't be. I would have thought maybe Diablo 2 had that many, but
No.
yeah, that's crazy, man. All right. So what are we picking? Are we picking?
Uh huh.
Okay, let me try. What do we go for? It can be anything, right?
Yep.
Any number combination. Okay, let's try
Number and a letter.
number and letter. Okay, let's go with D for Diablo, and my favorite is Diablo 1. I know everybody loves Diablo 2, but mine is, the
D1.
first
Okay.
one.
Let's
Where's it?
unlink this bad boy
What's that?
and Acid Beast.
Acid Beast.
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
I will send you this one on Facebook so you will have the image.
Yeah, I remember this one, man. I remember playing. I've always actually wondered what it would look like close up, but yeah, I know
Yeah,
this
basically it's just
sitting
some
terror.
pixels and that's all, but it's acid, so I guess we will start with this one. Uh, so yeah, I sent you the image if you want on your
Yeah,
Facebook, so if you just want to uh,
I'll keep it on my
yeah. Okay, this
side.
will be actually hard. I have no idea how to draw Acid Beast.
I might just have to open up some references of quadrupeds or a dog or something,
Yeah, I
just to
wanted
make
to
my
like go
easier.
completely unprepared, like to just to got hit with whatever is given and just try doing something
Come
like
on, yeah, let's do it.
really cool. Like usually I will like collect the thousands of references and be like, okay, now I know everything. But yeah, I guess
Yeah, let's go raw, man. I'm gonna leave out the references. We don't need it. We don't
it's
need it.
it's time to go with the flow.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'm backwards.
Yeah, the first problem will be the pose.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
basically, do you remember where the acid beasts were?
yeah, and I do quite clearly. I remember playing in the Beelzebub mod, right? That I was kind of
Uh-huh.
egging you on to play.
Yeah,
So,
the one that was not working for me.
and these were deadly, man. They appeared in the caves. The caves, and
Uh-huh.
I think you can get them in hell. I think you can get them in. You might get them early in the catacombs, and these guys were dangerous, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kinda like really surprised about the amount. Like the amount of the monster is like divided by 4, like from all the cards that I had in there, but the every single monster has 4 variants for it. Like every single one has 4 different types of it.
Oh, right, yeah,
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 so this is pretty much why there are so many different monsters in Diablos. But I guess like what is really cool is the names. Like even after like this magma dudes, like these fat magma guys, they are
yeah.
like I don't know if any game at the moment has a monster named like Hellstone or something like this. I guess like when I was just like rewriting every single monster, I felt like the names are quite cool.
Yeah, they were, man. They had that gothic kind of like, you know, creepy name, man. You know, it was very creepy. That's what I kind of like Diablo 1, man. Everything about it, just an extra little bit of creep factor compared to
Yeah. Yeah, recently I was just like trying to make some live streams, like changing the topic a bit, and I tried like actually drawing and talking, and was surprised how hard it is. Like I was not expecting it to be that hard. I thought like it would be way easier, to be honest. But got really surprised. And now I'm kinda also wondering how you managed to paint like the whole Diablo thing then when you were talking, because like drawing and talking is extremely hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's some people, you know, some people like with me, my trouble. I always get quite anxious if I think about things too much, right? If I start to really, you know, focus on like the best pose or the best values and the most correct anatomy or something like that, and I get so anxious with it that I just spend so much time and I don't loosen up, right? Whereas when if I'm talking and drawing, then you know, it's just maybe everything that I've learned from before, or I don't know, I just feel like autopilot mode, you know, and I
Mm.
just feel a bit more comfortable and not, yeah, I think I draw from more of a happy place.
Uh, and also, I heard like you are getting a new lockdown in there. Is it true?
Oh, yeah, it's already started. Yeah, we're
Uh,
on national lockdown at the moment again, so
a friend of
yeah.
mine told me it's like for the whole year or something like this.
Um, I, I don't know about that. I don't know about if it's for the whole year. I mean, I don't think it's going to be for the whole year. I mean, for the last few months we've had like a tiered system, right?
Huh?
So you know, different counties or different areas in England would have you know tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and you know it's tier 3 and tier 4. Those are the you know kind of very restrictive tiers or you know levels.
Oh.
Tier three, let me think. Tier three is when they allow, uh, yeah, tier three is when they close down like restaurants and stuff. So you can't dine in restaurants or anything,
Huh?
any social places, right? Essential workers and everything, they're fine. You know, essential workers are still doing their work now. Um, what However, in tier four, I think tier four, it feels like tier four is the same as this national lockdown where everything is shut, you know. But with this national lockdown, I think the schools are closed until when are the schools closed? February. February, I think February.
And like you are still working in a studio, or you are going like freelance at the moment?
Oh no, I'm working. Yeah, I'm working from home. So you know, I'm lucky in that sense where I'm thankful that you know I get to you know work from home.
Uh, Also, that's not that bad then for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
artists.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think people in the IT kind of, or you know, media industry and stuff, we're kind of a bit more lucky with this stuff, you know. So yeah,
Nice. Yeah. And
get to say,
other than that, how are you?
yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, as I was saying to you before, like during this holidays, I've been trying to make set up the office space, right? So I've been getting handy with a little bit of DIY, and yeah, I'm no good at DIY. My brothers are like experts at DIY, right?
Huh?
And I'm like trying to sand floors down. I want to set up a cool little office space, just how you've got it, man. I know you've got like this expert office space with like your microphone and camera and everything. So yeah, I'm trying to set something up.
For me, DIY is like, okay, let somebody else handle these problems for me. I'm completely useless for DIY stuff most of the time.
Oh man, I'm absolutely useless. But you know, it's like it's kind of like you know, as we learn tutorials in like art or you know, experiment with new software and stuff, right? You
Hmm.
know, when you kind of throw yourself in like a DIY world, you find like all of this cool, you know, wealth of you know knowledge and information, and Yeah, well, if you do just jump in, and get hands on with things, it's quite cool. You find all of this stuff to learn.
It
How about you,
kinda
man?
it
How's
kinda
things over
muted you
there?
for the last sentence. Could you repeat?
Oh
That.
yeah, yeah. I was just saying, like, if you just dive into the any new field, right?
Hmm.
And with DIY, it's kind of got that creative craft or artisan aspect to it, right? And when you kind of check up like tutorials, just as we would in our art, right? You you appreciate, there's so much more cool knowledge out there, and I don't know, it just makes you appreciate things in a different way, I suppose.
For me, in terms of DIY, like it's kind of funny because usually a lot of people say like if I draw or do something like I should be like manually like capable of doing some things. But in terms of like DIY, I feel like I am completely utterly useless in like cutting something or just working with my hands like on anything pretty much. So I kind of wonder why this is happening like this.
Yeah,
But yeah.
man. I recommend it though, just to try out. Yeah, it's quite fun actually. And there's something. I don't want to knock our industry or anything like that. I mean, we
Uh-huh.
love our digital art and working with computer and stuff, right? But when you kind of do anything like somewhat creative or design art, kind of, I don't want to say DIY is like art per se, but yeah, when you do anything like that, kind of having something hands on there that you can see and kind of touch and stuff yourself is, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the monsters that like changing topic once again like completely, what you thought you will like randomize? Was there like a pick you wanted to for it to be like a certain
Uh,
monster?
I was hoping it'd be at least a bipedal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be a
it would be
two-legged thing.
nice to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a bit rusty on my quadrupeds at the moment, so
At the moment, I kind of feel like I have never seen a dog in my life before.
same, same.
Like I'm trying to like remind myself how the skull of a dog or something like this looks like, but I'm not really sure if I have ever seen a dog in my life at the moment.
I know you end up drawing like a humanoid shape on all fours, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Uh, okay.
I thought I'd decide to be a bit clever and start with like the skeletal and muscle structure, but it's got me even more confused than if I hadn't.
To be honest, like as I said, I wanted to go completely unprepared, so I have no idea pretty much what I am doing. Like I had no plan for it at all, and like the acid beast was actually one that I was not expecting at all, but I could see you will go with the number with the letter D. So for Diablo, so yeah, I could play something cool in the D like lineup. But at least it's a challenge. At least this one.
Yeah, that's you gotta make mistakes and you gotta
Hmm.
kind of let go.
I'm trying to remind myself if there had like a tail or if they did not had a tail.
I don't know. I don't think they did actually. I know I've drawn a tail in
Maybe
mine,
something
but
like short. Also, if anyone has any questions, just feel free to ask them. Like, it will also be a little easier for us to like pick up a certain theme if you will ask something, or at least for me, because like as I said, drawing and talking for me is like surprisingly hard. And it's kind of funny because when I'm teaching at the school, I need to like move your portrait again.
is what I was gonna say. Are we doing it
When
like
I am teaching at school, like drawing, there is
yeah?
like absolutely no problem for me to just like talk, draw at the same time, look at someone, and sometimes to draw most of the thing upside down just to make it a bit easier for the folks like to see. And when it comes to the like stream, when I draw on computer and try to talk at the same time, it's extremely harder, and I have no idea why it's that. Like it does not make any sense for me.
Yeah, it's it can be tricky. I know when I try and this is more tricky because I know like I'm goofing up the anatomy big time, right? So the times when I have to really think about it,
Hmm.
then I'm like, oh, gosh, I can't speak properly. My brain is frazzled.
Yeah.
This is not the easiest one to start with.
Yeah, I kind of like when I was collecting all the monsters, I was like, okay, there are like so many of them, like pretty much I could do this type of stream like forever. Like I don't know when, but let's say 100 weeks is like a lot of time for pretty much any series. If like let's say I will like draw only one, but I think maybe we'll manage to do like two or three per stream. I was
Oh,
like
man.
wondering how will look the first sketch and the last one. Like to redo the first sketch after like finishing all of them. This would be like pretty cool to see, like pretty cool experiment to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting. Uh, Definitely would be.
And just for the Diablo, like you remember when you started playing Diablo? Because I don't remember if we had this conversation. Probably we did, but what is your story with Diablo?
Ooh, well, I think what it is I remember watching my brother, right? So for me, it's like a family thing, right? So I kind of I used to just watch him play, right? I used to just sit on my chair, like just for I think for hours just watching, silently just watching, and I'd just be so curious. And I was kind of like that with a lot of games. All of the kind of popular games that I grew up with, that I think I later on played in my maybe teens. But yeah, it must have been like I don't know. When did it come out? 99. It must have been. I must have been like eight, 9 or something, maybe. Yeah. It was a long, long time ago. 11. Maybe 11. Yeah. So someone has to do the math for me. My wife do the math for me while my brain is like
Yeah.
frazzled.
And then when you like look at the age restrictions, it's like wait, that's illegal
Yeah,
for most
yeah,
of the games.
yeah, man.
I
Yeah, man.
really wonder if someone actually was like, "Oh no, I cannot play this game. I'm too young for this game," and like intentionally skipped a game after like seeing he's too young or something like this. I wonder if someone have done it purposefully.
Oh man, yeah. Gosh, I think we that age, I think all of us, I don't know how kids follow like parental guidance and stuff nowadays, but I
Mm.
think back then, all of the 90s horror movies and stuff, like Nightmare on Elm Street and what is it like Halloween and Hellraiser, Terminator, all of these things, every kid
Mm.
has watched them and grew up with them, right? But I remember I watched uh, was it? I think it was it, right? And that that used to scare the heck out of me, man. And I think I remember like hiding behind my brother or something, right? And what
No.
was I shouldn't be saying this on air, man. But yeah, I was I was quite scared of
For me, the movie that terrified me like to the bone was The Ring. It was
oh,
like I was watching it when I was like already in like high school after like the elementary school, and I remember it being so terrifying. I was like watching it in a smaller window just to not see it like as big as it was on the screen because it was like so scary.
oh
So
man, I really like that. That was a time when movies were. I mean, not movies actually. Should I say that's a movie where it's not just like jump scares, right? I really don't like jump scares. Not
yeah,
that it scares me,
like
but
it's really hard to make like a really good jump scare to be honest. This is one
yeah,
of the hardest things.
yeah, yeah. And I don't like it. I mean, like I feel as though like anything can be a jump scare. You could watch like a Disney movie, right? And it can have a jump scare in it, and it might frighten you, right?
Hmm.
Whereas having something that's genuinely creepy like The Ring, right? Because it's got them weird like puzzles and stuff, right? Where they watch that videotape and they see a fly coming out of the video, or I can't remember. It had just these weird kind of things in it, and those
Hmm.
were quite creepy, man. Yeah.
Yeah, also a friend of mine timed The Grudge. I remember the name of the movie. I completely don't remember how it looked like, but I remember the title, and I remember it was terrifying just from the title. But I don't remember anything from this movie, to be honest.
I can't remember much. I remember. I think I don't know if it was the trailer, but it was the. I think it was the like there's some demon kid that lived in like the shower or the hair of
Hmm.
the person. Well, I seen those images. Yeah, they were kind of
Yeah,
creepy.
actually, like the ring and all of this, like the really creepy stuff, was the thing that gave me nightmares, like a lot of different nightmares. And I remember also Diablo was doing this too, especially the cinematic from Diablo 2 when they were like entering the tavern. Like I had so many nightmares because of this cinematic, all of these skeletons like jumping out of the fire and everything.
Oh, yeah, that was the opening, right?
Yeah, and this was also one of the reasons why I got a ban for playing Diablo 2 because I was like crying at night because of it. But it was completely worth it, to be honest.
That's funny, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the like jump scares, I really like the jump scares when you like completely don't expect them like to be somewhere. So like in a horror movie, like you really expect to have a jump scare. Like you pretty much are prepared for it like all the time. And like recently, I have been playing with a friend of mine a game called Hunt. It's kind of like a horror type of thingy, but and there are like a lot of jump scares. But we had a situation where like pretty much he teleported behind me. Like we were like playing, and I was like absolutely not expecting him to like be behind me like that second, and by accident I struck him with an axe and I killed him, almost killed him, and this was the reason why we lost the game pretty much. So
Oh man.
yeah, jump scares can. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also the predator, right? It's like not the as how to read it. Tut Kaposhta wrote about the predator. Yeah, it's not like the intended horror, I guess. I don't know if the predator was a horror movie.
Yeah, I think I remember being scared of that one as well, you know. But at the same time, I was like, I had all of my faith in Arnie, right? You know, because I knew he was going to save the day. No one's going to take out Arnie,
Mm.
you
And for the movies, have you ever worked for any movie? Like you ever worked on like concepts or something like this for a movie?
Nah, but I would really like to. You know, our company Rebellion, right? I think, I want to say last year or the year before, we've kind of turned
Mm-hmm.
into a movie company, right? So we bought a movie studio,
Mm-hmm.
not studio, yeah, we bought a studio, right? And that's become our film department. And yeah, my good friend Jack Eves, he was working as the like concept artist in she was sitting next to me for like years, right? He transitioned over to the film department, and I was just like, wow, man, I was I was kind of there for a little bit, I was kind of there for a little bit, but if you want to work for that, I'd have to like change roles and job roles and contracts and stuff like that. So.
If you could, yeah, if you could like choose a movie that you would like to make, like to work on, which one will it be?
I want to say something fantasy because I would probably like it. You hear the talk of, Lord of the Rings coming out on
Yeah,
Amazon,
I
right?
mean like from the movies that are already out. Like which movie would you like to be a part of from the movies
Oh,
that are already out?
oh, right, yeah. Oh, so it's probably going to be an easy one to answer by saying, that's like a answer, but yeah, probably that. That or Star Wars. Because
Ah,
there's Star Wars. I would love to just because of that. I love Star Wars, right? And just growing up with it, I'm a big Star Wars fan.
mm,
However, I and just the amount of impact it would have on like culture and everything as well. So, yesterday, right? I think I showed you like, oh, this is the guy, yeah, Michio Okamura, who
Mm-hmm.
made Diablo, right? He designed Diablo. Now look how famous he's, the ultimate big bad, red dinosaur villain, and and this is the guy that designed it, and that seems kind of special, you know what I mean? So if I had any kind of hand in like a cult movie like that, it would be brilliant.
Yeah. Also for the Diablo, I wonder if the story of the tale is like true. Like like if it really was supposed to look differently in Diablo 1, because like I remember like back in the days I have seen some sketches of Diablo from Diablo 1, and it was like completely different from the thing that was in game.
Oh, really?
So yeah, like when you wrote about this, like when they couldn't make a tail, I was like, huh, maybe it was supposed to like more like in Diablo 2, but they just like couldn't figure out something like this. Like I wonder, maybe one day I will ask someone who was working on it, like why it looks like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so sure I can't remember where I read that from, but I'm sure I read something like that,
Hmm. Yeah, it kind of makes sense to be honest, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, we know the story, like, it was the Aiden character, the spoilers, the main character's boy, the hero from, no, what is it, Aiden, right? No, sorry, I'm thinking,
Uh,
Albert, he's the son of the Leoric, right?
huh.
So that was Diablo in Diablo 1. And he's just a little kid, right? So
Hmm.
and kind of know that Diablo sort of takes on the appearances, the not the appearance, but sort of takes on kind of somewhat features or qualities or attributes of the person that's the host, right? So in
Hmm.
Diablo 2, it became Aiden, right? Who was the warrior from the first game,
Hmm.
and they explain this by saying, oh, because he's the hero, the powerful warrior, he looks like a giant, awesome, big dinosaur with like muscles and everything, right?
It
But
makes
you're right.
sense.
Yeah, and whereas Diablo 3, it's the Leah,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, they were saying that, but yeah, I mean,
I remember when I was like a kid, when like Diablo 3 was not even mentioned anywhere. And I remember when like I was like 100% sure the Diablo in Diablo 3 will be a female. Like I was completely convinced it will be like this. And after I have no idea how many years it turned out to be true. And I was like, yeah, I guessed something.
did you predict Diablo 3?
Yeah, like I predicted the Diablo will be a female. This one, I'm always proud of this thing that I managed to predict this.
Nice, man, nice. The Diablo design in Diablo 3, weren't a big fan because I seen the other concepts, right? And obviously some of the concepts were, the original kind of male version, which was, obviously it's going to be epic, big
Hmm.
muscle, mean looking dinosaur, right? However, there were some other designs as well that looked kind of creepy. It had that thin frame as well, and looked kind of creepy. But the one that they went for was, I don't know, it seemed a bit
I,
too angular. It was a bit too.
it kind of felt a little bit like too much. Wow, was like influencing the style of it, and it
Yeah,
kind of looked like it wanted to go a little bit more with this like Asian type of stylistics to it, like huge shoulder pads and everything. Like pretty much like maybe not wow, but like there is this thing that a lot of like Asian designers do about the
yeah,
proportions. Like I felt always the proportions were really off in Diablo 3.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I could
And as
imagine.
like someone said, the grittiness was not there, like it was not dark enough. Like, but I wonder how the Diablo 4 will look like, because just looking at the like the previews and the small gameplays and everything, I feel like the Diablo 4 might be like the best Diablo game if they not manage to like mess it up somehow. They
Yeah.
might, but from the visual type of standpoint, if they really make everything correctly, it might look like a Diablo 1 on steroids or something like this.
Oh man, I don't want to get hyped. I don't want to get hyped. I will, I will get hyped, and that concept art and the artwork and that kind of realism that they're going for, it looks good. It looks good. But yeah, I'm just gonna hold my hopes. You know.
Huh.
Uh,
Someone wrote about the game Myth too. Have you ever played Myth?
Myth.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Adrian Słowinski said it has a really similar vibe to Diablo 1. I will need to
Ooh,
check this one up.
I will need to check it out as well if that's the case.
Yeah, but the finding with the original Diablo sketches, this is a nice find.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't see them before actually.
Yeah, especially since it was just like it required typing Diablo to the Behance, and it was like right there on the front page. I was like,
Yeah,
how? What was the reason I never like typed Diablo into the Behance search?
yeah,
This is the thing that kind of surprised me.
yeah. I mean, I didn't expect it. It's because I went and looked at the manual, right? And
Hmm.
the guy was credited for most of the Diablo 1, Diablo 2 monster concepts or designs. Wondering like, oh,
I
what
wish to
else?
see the sketches one day, like to
Yeah,
really see all of them,
yeah.
because the old games had this something with the sketches, like they had this feeling to them that was really that like pretty much is almost impossible to find at the moment, I think, in the concept art. Like they had this something to them.
I know, and they had like even the animations and stuff. For me, like Diablo 1, the animations were like it was so good. The death
Mm,
animations and stuff. And the sound quality was just like
yeah, this was one of the things that I really liked about Diablo. It's like when you heard a demon, it kind of sounded like a demon.
yeah,
But for
definitely.
me personally, I think the voice of Diablo in Diablo 2 in English version was extremely bad. But in Polish version, in my opinion, it was the best voice I have ever heard from any type of demon. It was extremely way deeper and way more gargly and like way more evil, just like in its
Oh,
core.
dude,
Like you really need to listen to the Polish
I need
version
to
of
I need to listen to
monsters,
that. I really need
because
to listen to
when I
that, man.
first time heard the Diablo in English, like in original, I was like so disappointed. I was like really, like seriously, it is this bad. And it happened many times for me because usually I prefer to have like original voiceovers and everything, but in Diablo, in my opinion, it was just kinda like weird. Maybe it is because like I grew up like listening to Diablo in Polish language like most of the time, but there is this something about like Diablo that was like not working for me.
Oh, yeah, because I mean Diablo 2, the voice, I wasn't disappointed with that. I was okay with Diablo 2. Diablo 3, I can't complain enough about the voices in that. It was just so cringe.
Mhm.
It was just weird. Some of the stuff that they were
The thing
saying.
that I really hated in Diablo 3, like it was extremely off-putting when my character was like speaking. Like Diablo
Yeah,
was all about like, okay, you just stand here and listen someone like begging you for help, and you just say nothing, and you just go and slay everything that's like on your way. Like it was
yeah,
that simple. And in Diablo 3 they were like monologues and everything and dialogues and just talking. Everyone was talking and telling a story and everything. While in
yeah.
Diablo 2, for example, like the story ended on like go kill monsters. If you want to read something, just read some quests or like talk with someone. But you never had to do so. But in Diablo
Yeah.
3, it was like really forced. Like you had to talk with someone, you had to listen to their story and everything. It was like, meh, really off-putting for me.
Yeah, and you had like some key, key nostalgic things, like the poems. Can you remember the poems? Oh,
The what?
the poems. Can you remember the Halls of the Blind poem when you open the book and read the tome?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that was so good, man. I mean, I don't know how it would be in Polish, but like, the English one was just like, oh, it's so
After like reading, well, not reading, listening the Diablo in the English language, I was like, I would have a hard time, I guess, listening to it like everything in the English language. So I never give it a go. But I guess one day I will try to give it a go. Like I always wanted to like go through Diablo in like the original like
Oh, yeah.
way.
What about So Diablo 1, did you hear that in Polish?
No, Diablo 1 was only in English language and it was like done beautifully. Uh, Diablo 2, I would say in English sounded a bit worse for me.
Ah,
At least
okay.
based on the things that I heard.
Yeah, I've got to listen to it in Polish, man, because it's like,
Yeah, later I will send you like the right one because they're like easy to like find a lot of weird like videos while looking for it while like searching.
yeah,
Because
because I'm the type, if I'd watch like anime or other language stuff, I tend to want to watch it in original. Just kind of it works a bit
yeah,
better.
also it might like have a like more interesting impact on you because basically a Polish language for you will sound like a like demon like language, like you will understand nothing probably. So it might even fit better for you if you are going to listen to it in Polish. Like the
Yeah,
demon voices will actually sound like demon like more because you wouldn't understand them. So yeah, that might be a nice thing.
yeah, that's interesting, man. Like, because Diablo 2 for me, it had some, iconic, like whether it's Duriel's looking for Bale or Andara's die maggot, and the famous Diablo line, "Death to say for me." Yeah,
Mm.
those were like iconic lines. I kind of liked how it kept it minimal. But it was,
Yeah, I guess like the dubbing in the games, like back in the days, done by like Polish teams was extremely good. Like for example, Baldur's Gate, like voice acting was like perfect. It was like a total classic in terms of voice acting. Like when you had this thing that you had to collect the whole team to before venturing forth. In Polish language, this was like done beautifully. Like przed wyruszeniem w drogę musisz zebrać drużynę. I don't remember the guy who voice over this. Like I have this in the back of my head. But now I feel like they got kinda lazy. Like you play Cyberpunk already or not?
no,
I tried playing it in Polish language, like the voices, and I just turned off the game. For me it was done extremely like it was just kinda seemed kinda lazy.
yeah, man. I mean, like CD Projekt, they're kind of Polish based, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of surprising because what I really liked about the original, like for example, you had a certain like Asian character, and when someone who is like speaking, let's say only Japanese, like for the vast majority of their life, when they start speaking English, it's really easy to say they were like speaking Japanese for like the vast majority of their lives. Like you can hear the characteristic like way of speaking when they are talking. And in the English audio, they included it. Like the Asian characters were like speaking with this manner in their voice that you could hear. Like it made sense. Like you could feel he's Asian. And in Polish version, it was like you will hear just someone who was like fluent Polish speaker all their life, and it was kind of like it was really weird.
I see.
So, but you should give the game a try. Like, I still think it is one of the best games I have ever played. So,
Yeah. Why? Like, why? Tell me. Is it because of the
mm,
gameplay or the graphics? Like, what kind
I
of?
guess the whole world building is really nice. Like, I kinda can admire it, I guess, a bit more than like let's say a typical user in a sense because like like follow the guys who are working on it, like I can appreciate, I guess, the designs a bit more than, let's say, someone who is not into this field. And this was like, I guess, a huge of the reason, because like the game is absolutely like beautiful, like it's really nicely done, and the designs, like all the designs have this like really characteristic shape language to them, and the proportions and everything that really speak to me. So I guess it kinda like just ring the right bells, like for my feel of aesthetics, let's say. So this is one of the reasons why I really like it. And I really like the story. To be honest, I don't remember any game that pretty much got me so involved in the story that I forgot about doing side quests. Like I pretty much like rushed through the game because I was so interested what is going to happen in the main story, that I finished the game after like 28 hours, which is still like quite a long time, but I was like not even close into finishing pretty much even half of the things in the game. Like on my second playthrough, I'm already at like 90 hours in or something like this, and I already like I cleaned some areas but not everything. And for me the story was absolutely like beautiful. Or and I also think I had a bit of luck, because from the choices I have made in the game I got a really interesting results. Like I was reading some different results you can get were not so interesting, at least for me, and in my playthrough I got pretty much everything I thought I would like in the game to be. So yeah, like the story is just interesting. Like it's kind of, for me it's like Dark Souls. Like I guess it's really hard to appreciate the game if you have not played it. Like it's hard to explain why, for example, Dark Souls are really is like pretty much one of my favorite games. You just have to play it. And have you played Dark Souls ever?
Oh, I haven't played it, man.
Uh,
And it's a shame I haven't as well
yeah,
because it's Diablo, Dark Souls, right up my alley, isn't it?
you will absolutely love Dark Souls.
Yeah, I've looked at the concept art and I think I've watched a bit of a let's play and stuff of it. So
Concept
I'm
art
gonna,
is like, wow, it's one of the best out there, I guess.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's one of not many games that managed to combine like the look and the feel of the game with actually the game. Like you can feel how the game will look like just by looking at the concepts. Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
style is pretty much exactly the same for the game and for the concept. But yeah, you should really try playing Dark Souls. It's hard as fuck, to be honest, but it's extremely worthy. Like to try this game.
I do like appreciate like challenging games like that.
Yeah, and also the fact that there are so many mysteries in the game. Like what I really like also in Dark Souls is that the world is not really like described uh, precisely, let's say. So like vast majority of lore is like people figuring out what it could be, who someone is, like what is the relation between them, and after like 5 years someone finds a small texture that pretty much unravels the next secret or something like this. So I guess this is the thing that I really like about Dark Souls.
Yeah. Have you played the other ones? Have you played
The what?
the other games by the company, Demon Souls?
Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. I really like Dark Souls 1. I am not a huge fan of Dark Souls 2. The style is a bit weird. Like Dark Souls 3 has this cool gothic vibe to it. Dark Souls 1 have this like really cool like medieval feeling to it, with like different touches of gothic-esque things in it. And Diablo 2 is like, yeah, not Diablo, Dark Souls 2 is like they tried something different and not like it hasn't clicked, I guess, the way they wanted it to click.
What about have you played?
Yeah. There is a question: is there a way to put you on head for you to put on headphones? I guess because they say it's a bit hard to hear you sometimes.
For me?
Yeah, I don't know if headphones will do anything, to be honest.
No, I've got a mic near me. Well, maybe this sounds a little bit better because what do I sound better now? Or, I've got a mic a bit closer to me now. Um,
Maybe, yeah. I just like I hear you fine, but I don't know how it sounds on stream. But yeah, it should be good.
maybe because I've got a bit of background noise.
Oh,
I think,
maybe. Yeah, I will
yeah.
like need really to like talk with some audio editor or someone like this to just tell me like what should I click to make audio look sounds nice. Because after like watching some tutorials, I was like, okay, I don't know how audio works. It's too complicated. Okay. I guess I'm getting close to finishing, or at least finishing the sketch for the dog. So I guess maybe we can like soon pick the second one.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna. How much more time are we spending on this?
However much more you want, like I can polish like because as far as I can see you like finished 4 already or something like this, and you put me in shame because I'm like still doing one.
No,
So
no. It's not that. For me, I just, I need to get a bit more comfortable, and I feel as though the design wise, I've not managed to get the design.
for me, I feel like I have drawn this type of monsters like several times already, but I guess it just shows like that I don't know how the dogs look like. So, do you have sometimes this feeling like when you are drawing something? Because I don't know if like this is just me. Probably not, and like I'm always 100% sure it's not just me, but that you have a limited amount of shapes that you are like using and reusing all the time.
I think, yeah, I think I am like that because I feel as though like I definitely if I'm working from autopilot mode, right? I know my muscle memory is just using the same shapes and stuff, right? Which is I do try to thumbnail a bit more where I can just kind of do crazy stuff with it, or when I'm doing values and stuff, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of try and play around with the shapes in with the values. So if I do a big block of like a you know shape or something, then I try and play with the silhouette a little bit more. But yeah, I know I
Yeah,
tend to.
because like sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like I have the certain amount of shapes that I like end up reusing. Like recently I was like designing one like dog like character, and now when I'm looking at this guy I kind of feel it looks kind of the same, like just reskinning it into something a bit different, but I feel that I have done this guy already. And also there is a question, do you like using opacity when sketching?
Uh, Me, do I like using opacity?
Like for the
Yeah,
brush, do you prefer like this alla prima or method, or you prefer to like use opacity?
yeah. I mean, I am using opacity on here, but it's kind of a bit more stronger. It's a bit more thicker. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, I play around with different types. I do sometimes start light and then build up. Yeah, it just depends on the mood really. I think with more thicker brushes, I tend to think more about the silhouette more.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember like back in the days you said you were like a really purist in terms of art, like you really liked to pretty much paint everything as it is, like without using any tricks or something like this. But I guess it's not the case anymore, right?
Um, uh, yeah. Like I mean, yeah. Like now, I mean, you've probably seen me. Like I kind of yeah, I have used 3D and stuff before, and in my concepts for work and stuff, I kind of would throw in photos and paint over them and stuff like that. I'd use every adjustment tool as I could. Yeah. If I could, and you know, and if I do feel, sometimes I do feel happy when I'm just doing a sketch or a painting. That's completely raw. And if I do that, I'm more pleased with it. You know, I'm more pleased if I can get to a design that I like myself by just painting it raw. But yeah, I find it hard to like anything these days, which is yeah. Mm.
Yeah, we got like a small side quest. We need to randomize Overlord. So you will have to use all your powers to like detect Overlord under the cards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I have no idea like where he is. I only remember I think I remember the place where the hidden one was, like this alien looking guy that was teleporting everywhere. But I have no idea where I placed Overlord.
Ah, see, I think so. Do you
Also,
have a
no,
clue?
I forgot to include overlords, I guess, in there because I had some problems with them because the page, like, what colors of overlord do you remember?
I remember all of them. I know the standard red one. The Overlord was red, and then you had the Flayed one, Toad Demon. You had actually those are the ones I remember: Toad Demon, Flayed one, and Overlord. Was there any more?
There was one more, but there was a blue overlord, right?
Yeah, there was a blue one. What was
Because
the blue
the
one?
every single like I found only one screenshot of the blue overlord, and every single page showed like told one as like a greenish grayish something, and Madman, I guess, or something like this, as
Yeah, that's the one.
yeah,
Mudman.
as like gray brownish, and there were like no blue one, and I was like thinking if I have imagined it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Mudman was the blue one, wasn't it?
I don't know. Like they showed Madman as like this, pretty much the color of the bone of this guy of the acid beast. He was like colored like this.
Oh, okay then. Then
But
maybe it's
I don't know if it's true. I don't think it is true. I think they like just took some graphic from the web and just recolored it because I am 90% convinced he was blue.
right. What color was Toad Demon? Can you remember?
Uh,
Toad Demon might have
Toad
been.
Demon was like pretty much the color. Yeah, also the color of the head of the acid beast. It was pretty much exactly the same color.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Huh. I could have sworn I've seen the blue one as well. Maybe I'm confusing that with the lightning.
Maybe it was the lightning, but I am. But if there is like a blue one and this one, it would mean it is the only monster that have like 5 variants. If this is the case, not including the bosses, but yeah.
So what did the monsters have only a set number of variants?
What?
The monsters only have a set number of variants.
I guess 4. I guess this is the upper limit for
Ah,
Diablo 1. I don't think there were more. Okay, I can say I am done with this guy. I have no idea what to add more. Like I could only like polish some small details. So, are we going to
yeah.
randomize the next one, or do you want to spend a bit more time on this guy?
I will. I will. Let's go for the next one, but I'll try and finish this one as well.
Okay, so pick the one from A to L and from 1 to 7.
A to L, 1 to 7. I shall go for. Hmm. Let's go for C5. How's that? C5.
C5. This
Why
would
that came to
be.
me, but yeah, that's the one.
Oh, oh, this will be hard.
What is it?
A snow witch. This will be extremely hard. I guess this was the rarest version of the succubus. I sent you the image.
Wait a minute. So have you put like the variants in as well?
Yeah, yeah. This is
Oh,
the reason why there are so many monsters. Like I included all 4 of them because like I felt, for example, the like Doom
yeah.
Knight will look a bit different from like the Steel Lord or something like this.
Okay, you know,
Okay, I thought the dog one was hard, and now I have to draw a female. Oh my god, this will be disastrous.
okay.
I cannot paint. I don't know how to paint females. Oh my god, this will be the hardest sketch I have to do in like ages. It's like
I'm
my
surprised, man. Usually that's like people tend to get good at that. You know, people tend to get good at that
I like
first.
always skipped drawing females because it's hard. And like just recently I started like trying to like paint females. Like I always prefer to like paint zombies and muscular monsters and everything. Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh man,
This
I didn't. Yeah. So if you've got all of the different variants as well, then I should just stick to. I should be sticking to one because I feel as I'm drawing different variants. You know. Let's see. Have you got
okay, now I send you the image. Now I am stressed out to be honest. I
okay.
have no idea how does it works with the breast area on YouTube if you are drawing it live. So
Yeah, I might have to.
to be honest, I have no idea at all how it works for like. I guess clothed is fine, but naked I don't know.
Yeah.
We have to say too much.
Let's have a look. What can I do?
Uh,
Can I change?
yeah, the good thing is at least the hard ones will be done already. So this is actually like the good part. From all the monsters you could choose, you chose like the two hardest monsters out there.
Okay. This should be. Yeah.
Also, do you remember like having like shit tons of problems while fighting the succubus? Sis?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. If you played melee characters as well, then
It was like a terror. It was impossible to actually fight them, especially on hell difficulty.
yeah, and they just come in like armies as well, man. You know, they come in like 100 of them. You know, you find shooting you with the blood star, right? And then it's just like just the whole screen is just littered with blood stars, and you're kind of taking a maze through all of the projectiles trying to reach them.
Yeah,
And
it was the most annoying monster in the universe.
yeah, and then you've got to chase them all the way into a corner, and then manage to get them. Which is the only one worse than that is probably the advocates or the
No, the worst monster ever was this guy from the chambers, from the Necrol chambers. The delicious, because they were like faster than you. They were moving
oh
faster than you. They
yeah,
were actually the worst monsters out there. The only way to kill them was to like turn them into the stone, and that's it. There is no other way to kill them.
yeah. Those were I really liked the design of the lich in the Hellfire.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Hellfire had this something added to it in terms of quality of the sprites. They were really nicely done.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same people doing the concept art and stuff, but
I
they
don't think so, to be honest, because it was not an official expansion, as far as I know.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think they've done like an awesome job with it.
Yeah. And you remember the monster Nakrul?
Yeah. But that one's a bit weird. For me, that one was a bit weird. Like I found that.
Yeah, it was like a bit weird, but I really liked him though. But do you know what he was saying when like you opened the chamber?
No, I can't remember.
brush your teeth and eat your vegetables or something like this, but played backward and we've applied some filters to it.
No way, really?
Uh-huh.
That is hilarious, man. That's funny.
Yeah.
God, that's kind of funny, man. I didn't know that. Did not know that.
Jesus Christ, throwing a female on a live stream. It will be hard. They had, yeah, they had normal. Okay, I will go with the code links. Yeah, people are talking about the myth too. Like people, two users are talking about myth too. It's some sort of an RTS, I guess. I will have to check this one out. I don't even remember, like, hearing about the name of this game.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Was it an action RPG as well?
I have no idea. If anyone could write something about the game at the moment, I will gladly answer all your questions about the myth, like the gameplay and everything. What is like your thing that you tend to avoid while drawing? Do you have some topics that you like try to avoid? Like maybe not purposefully, but you just don't feel, you feel not confident enough in the topics that you avoid them, like subconsciously, let's say it this way.
Maybe like hard surface stuff, right? You know, I've got a very, like, I'd say, loose hand when it comes to drawing. So anything organic, I feel semi-confident in, but anything hard surface, I'm just like, ah, damn it, man. You know, you've got to be a bit more precise, right? And if you want to do it, you know, properly, then you've got to do it with like a, I don't know, like a line tool or, you know, or something. And if I have to do that, then I get so frustrated. But yeah, that just bugs me, man.
Also, they say it's like an RTS, like the real-time strategy, but without building bases. And it's more tactical game where you are commanding a group of troops, human versus undead. Holy fuck, I really need to play this game if this is human versus undead. Can you play undeads also?
Everybody likes the undead.
Yeah, it was like my top favorite. Oh, and it's inspired by the Black Company, by the book.
Ah,
If it's inspired by the book of the Black Company, I'm buying it today.
I've
Oh,
no
holy
idea.
shit. Have you finished the books or you are still reading them? Oh shit, it's by the book, okay. Yeah, actually, like, wait, where do I have these books? Black Company. I have them in there. I'm not picking them up. It's like, whoa. Nice.
What is this?
What?
Is the Black Company books?
Do you remember the Stephen Erickson books? The Malazan Book of the Fallen?
Yeah.
So Black Company are the books that inspired Malazan Book of the Fallen. And I found about them like year and a half ago. And I can say they are in a way better than Malazan Book of the Fallen. Because they are a little bit more local. Like you have an epic story that is extremely interesting, but the whole setting is a bit more like focused on certain characters.
Interesting.
And you can play as an undead, so I am completely bought. Okay. Oh my god, I managed to draw a female silhouette. I'm proud of myself. Now I need to draw a hand. This is the second
You
quest.
know, I've been practicing hands lately as well, and yeah, it's not fun, man. How much you practice it, it's gonna come back and haunt you in another way. You know, it's like,
Once again, the back noise kinda muted you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no matter how much you practice hands,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna come back and haunt you again. It's like, yeah, it's not easy.
Like I really envy people who are like, oh, hands are easy because like they have this weird understanding of the hands, of drawing the hands, and they can like draw hands without any problems.
Yeah, I, yeah. There's people, right, who I don't want to knock it because if I could draw that way, I mean, I'll really like it. But there's people who draw very structurally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of draw, if they were to draw the hand, they draw every cylinder and then they'd go back, go over
Mm-hmm.
it, and then clean the cylinder. And, that way of drawing is just like, I can't do it.
So for me, it's like I prefer drawing like I prefer. I guess I would say I'm between the thing that you said and the way you are drawing. Like because I really enjoy like drawing everything precisely with the geometry and everything, like understanding the actual things in the space. It's just interesting for me. But I am not going to. I'm too lazy to like construct the whole hand from the cylinders. But yeah. Do you know the artist Narambatan Gunbolt?
Nope.
Uh,
Maybe,
he is from, I have no idea from where, but he has this crazy understanding of like he put tons of work in terms of like understanding the geometry, and his renderings, like you can say, are really simple because like he has a really solid workflow. He pretty much draws shades, like the really nicely like developed workflow to all of his works. uh, but he has this like deep understanding of geometry and the shapes, and he can really nicely make everything look really three dimensional, because like you can see all the shapes like are really drawn nicely. He understands the shapes that he's drawing. So later I will send you him because he has really cool artworks. Like you will be able to see what I mean.
yeah.
Huh. Okay. Another person is saying the myth 2 has a really nice art in it. So
Okay, that
it
kind of
it
sells it for me a little bit. If it's like Diablo 1 and it's got good art, then
yeah,
that.
it must mean something then. So yeah. Oh, I am stealing the shape of the wings from you now. I really like this like double thingies.
I don't know what I've done.
Yeah. I never like really practiced drawing like wings that much. So when you are drawing wings, to what part of back you prefer to attach them to? Like to the arms, to the shoulders, to the like scapulas, to the lats? Like what is the placing for you?
Let me think. Actually, so if I draw the back like that,
Because for me it makes the most sense to attach them either to the scapula or somewhere below the scapula, like to the second part of scapula.
yeah, I think I'd put it there as well. Yeah, I would. So, like, I think I'd draw like the arm or the second, I don't know what you call it, the second deltoid or whatever for the wing. I'd put it above the scapula somewhere, I think. Yeah. But it depends, wyverns, if you want to draw like a wyvern type of thing, then you'd attach it to the arms, I suppose, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think, yeah, I would go above as well. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, I've got to draw. I love drawing these, man. I mean, like it's like the amount of dragons I've probably drawn over the time. It's like the typical fantasy thing to draw, right?
Hmm. And also like going back a little bit more to the hard surfaces, like have you ever studied like drawing all of this like primitives and everything in perspective, like this basic type of like the Scott Robertson type of drawing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I practice in as many ways as I can. Yeah, sometimes I would, sometimes I would kind of, start off without too much emphasis on gesture, and I would go and draw, with full structure. So yeah, I've got practice in it, but probably not enough as I would like.
Hmm.
But again, like I don't enjoy drawing that way as much. It's probably a lot better. I think you'll probably get more comfortable. You'll probably learn a lot more. But I just because we've got the power of Photoshop and stuff, right? I feel as a gesture to me is like um, where I enjoy more of especially anything that's organic. I enjoy seeing gesture more. And then on top of the gesture, because we've got the power of Photoshop, we can kind of apply
Mm-hmm.
the structure underneath that, and try and make the wackiest shape or flow or line that you get from gesture, and you can
Mm-hmm.
apply structure to it. So yeah,
Hmm.
like I wish I could be like Kim Jong Gi, where you can have the gesture and have the structure all in one go. But yeah, for me, just kind of anytime I feel as I draw anything gesturally, I mean structurally, like those boxes and everything,
Have you ever like designed a mecha or something like this? Because I guess like it will be a good place for you to just go with more flow and more gesture, but with like a really solid hard surface type of things.
no, I haven't, not so much, and it's silly because I like it, I would like drawing sci-fi and the topic and the themes of sci-fi, cyberpunk, and all of these things, I love them themes,
Hmm.
but just drawing them and making them look good. I feel as though you have to clean up, man. You have to clean up, or you have to go very precise with it. And if
Hmm.
it just makes the whole drawing process a bit tedious, And if things are tedious, then I guess less enjoyment from it.
Hmm.
How
Do you
about
have?
you, man? Yeah, I know you like drawing your like
Uh, to
Diablo
be
kind.
honest, at the moment, I don't know what I like to draw. Like undeads, obviously, but the more I draw, the more I tend to go with the being a generalist, let's say. So I really like to be able to draw everything, and it's kind of stressing me out recently because as I said, I want to draw, let's say, this guy, this quadruped acid dog. I don't know how the dogs look like because, like, I have not studied dogs enough. I want to draw a female. It's hard to draw a female because I was not like drawing enough females and everything. So yeah, I would say I enjoy drawing mechas, but I have not drawn enough mechas in my life. So yeah.
No, I haven't. And I mean, like, if you were to draw anything hard surface, I mean, like, if you love to draw cars or even like guns or tanks or anything like that, then I'm sure you'd be good at mecha. But
Mhm.
I just don't know why.
Yeah, but I remember like really back in the days when I was still like attending the school that I am teaching at the moment now. Uh,
Yeah. Oh,
there,
I didn't know you were doing that. How's all of that going for you?
yeah, I am a teacher like for 7 years now, I guess. I have been preparing mostly like students for the entry exams at Academy of Fine Arts and architectural studies and everything. So yeah.
And I feel like an idiot now. Well, yeah, that's freaking good on you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
freaking
I
cool.
really like this job. It's really cool, like to be able to help some folks to just pass their exams and everything. So I really like being a teacher in a way. That's also one of the reasons that I decided to start like the YouTube channel type of thingy, streams and everything, because like I felt it's just a natural way to go with like
Yeah,
educating everyone.
yeah, it makes sense.
Because I just enjoy doing this type of stuff. But yeah, but what I wanted to say. Uh, what was the thing before I said I am teaching? I lost track.
You said about you was
About drawing everything, general mechas. Ah, okay, I remember. The time when I was like still attending the school, the Domin, the school that I'm teaching at the moment right now. Once we got to the planner, painting, drawing sessions, and everything, and I was then the beginning assistant. Like I was the beginner in terms of like teaching people how to draw. I was not a teacher like as having my own classes. I was just helping in this type of events like live drawing and everything. And one girl, like a friend of mine, asked me to help her to draw a car. And I remember then, like it was some sort of a white van or something like this, and it was like from nature. And I drew this car, and I can promise you it was the worst car you have ever seen. Like I tried to salvage it somehow, like to make it look okay, but I ended up like making it look like a toy. It looked just like a Hot Wheels or something like this. I had no idea how I could like what I should change in the drawing to make it look not like a toy. And I remember when this friend of mine who asked me to draw this car was laughing so hard at this car. Like she couldn't contain the laughter because it looked so funny. It looked so like childish, and I was like drawing all these monsters and everything, and here I was like drawing a toy car or something like this. And I remember from this day I was like, okay, I will never draw a car in my life again because like I have a PTSD when I'm drawing cars, to be honest, at the moment. So
yeah.
yeah,
You know, it's
cars are hard. Like faces. If you mess up one thing in cars, it's done. Like it's garbage then.
yeah, it's the proportions, isn't it? You know, if you get some kind of small
Hmm.
proportion wrong, then
Yeah,
that's
like
it looks like a toy.
one eye is too high, it looks weird. Like the same thing applies to cars. One
Yeah,
thing is not right, it's weird. If you forget like the how to draw an ellipse for the wheels, is the same story. Like the drawing is pretty much dead.
yeah, that's yeah, I get you, man. You know, ellipses, you have to draw the ellipse right, you know, and if you don't, then it's gonna look wonky. It's not gonna look good, you know.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
I can say like I don't have any problems with drawing ellipses like freehand or anything. Like for me it's kind of easy because like I have done it many times. But while drawing cars, this shit's hard. Like I have no idea why. It's just hard then. Like there is this another level of precisement you need to be.
yeah, man. You know, I do like you know,
Oh,
the
there is a really cool question by Adrian Słowinski that he is 35 now and he just bought a graphic tablet and started tutorial at Udemy courses. Do you guys think that there is a hope for me? Can oldie like me reach your level? I am planning to draw every day for an hour and a bit more in weekends, aiming 8 to 10 hours a week. Uh, what do you think about it? Like, I have a pretty strong opinion on this type of stuff, but since you are a guest, you go first.
oh yeah, I think I've got you know kind of strong opinions as well. All depends on what the person wants to do. I mean, if you want to become a professional, if you want to become an illustrator, if you want to become a concept artist, they all have specific pathways, right? Um, you know, you can achieve good finish and good result, you know, by using a lot of tricks and tools and ways of doing things, right? But you know, and that could make you have a high quality finish, you know, somewhat. But you know, if you wanted to, I don't want to say get good as us or anything like that. If you know, industry standard at specific things, like say, you know, if you're doing like character design here, or you know, I think 1 hour in weekdays, I don't think that would be enough, right? And then you know, your weekend, if you're putting all of that 8 hours in, that's great, but you know, is to become a professional. It's like a very competitive.
Hmm.
Got to put a lot of time in, you know. So yeah.
Hmm. And for the age, what is your take on
Well,
age?
age isn't a problem, you know. I mean, age is not a problem in the sense that time is the problem, right?
Hmm.
And it's not that how old you are; it's how much time can you put in at whatever age. You know, when we're kids, you know, we've got more time in the world, right? When
Yeah,
you're
but also I guess if you are older, you have this different set of like experience for you, like going on. So you pretty much can, maybe you like don't have a head start because maybe you are not like drawing for like 10 hours a day because you simply are not able to, but you have different like experience. You can have a different experience, in my opinion,
yeah,
and it can give you a head start in a different manner. Like, to be honest, if I can imagine, like when I was trying to learn something new, like back in the days when I was like younger, uh, it would me take more time than now. I feel like now I am learning way faster than I used to. Like they say, you will learn the most when you are like a kid and something like this, but I completely do not agree with it. Like now I feel I can attack different things with more with a plan. I would say, like I know how to learn things at the moment, so I think it will be easier for me.
yeah, you know that does, yeah, that changes a lot of things, you know, and it puts a big, you know, it puts a big factor into how well you can learn, right? You know, that's the key factor, isn't it? You know, like sometimes it's not about putting that amount of time in. Sometimes, you know, it's more important to work smartly, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you do work in a very, you know, the thing is, you hear stories of, you know, clever people, man. You know, they become professionals in 1 year. I mean, it's a super hardcore year, you know, where they're working their ass off, but it's possible to do. And you know, if you work that much more smartly, you know, you find the best. Don't want to say the best tutorials, but that, yeah, maybe the best tutorials, or and take, you know, follow, you have like a mentorship thing going on, and you get,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think you can now, today, you know, in this day and age, with all the resources available to you, I think, you know, it's far more easier to do it now than there was before.
Yeah, I guess like the hardest part, in my opinion, like looking at all the experience that I have now, uh, is to not get to is to not get discouraged by everything. Like it's so extremely easy in drawing to get discouraged by it because it's just like it's a hard hobby, to be honest. Like it's, one, it's really competitive, and two, you really need to know pretty much everything about everything to be a really good like draftsman, like to be a really good artist, concept artist, designer, or something like this. So I think, like the, as you said, like the edge is not a problem, but like trying to keep the mind in peace, this is the hard part for me, I guess, at least.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, like I feel as though now there's stuff I'm learning, or there's processes I'm taking, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that I feel is so much, you know, better, right? And I feel as I've got so much bad habits now, right? Whether it comes to drawing or my
Mm-hmm.
approach to, I you have to unlearn stuff, right? You have to unlearn stuff in order to get better. And
Hmm. Yeah, I guess in the end it also like goes to the point of like being consistent with it. Like if you are consistent at something, like it will be hard not to improve, to be honest. So like I guess maybe, okay, maybe 1 hour a day is not that much, but I think for someone who is just a beginner, I think it might be enough. And just with time, like the amount of hours you're able to draw will
yeah,
increase. Because for example, if you try to, like even for me, like I could say I draw a lot. I don't draw nearly enough like the amount that I want to draw. Like I would like to draw like 10 times more, but
Yeah.
sometimes I just feel like I don't have the capacity in my brain to draw, let's say, for 14 hours straight. Like when I started to like take notes on where my like what is my focus span, I noticed like pretty much every 45 minutes to like 90 minutes, something in between, like I need to take a break from drawing because like I feel like I'm starting to lose focus.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
So
I definitely feel the same way. Yeah.
and also I think like because how old are you? Because I keep forgetting. 32, right? Yeah, so I guess one of the like advantages like folks, let's say, who are starting after like their 30s, uh, comparing to the young folks at the moment, like they understand you need to put the work to achieve something. I think like especially after like teaching for like let's say this 7 years, I really noticed a trend that a lot of beginners tend to demand the skill instead of like working for it, I could say. So uh, less and less like young people are like, by young I mean around the age of 16, let's say. Less and less people are willing to put the work in to achieve like good results. Like back in the days, like when I was like studying at Domin, there were like a lot of guys who were like giving like artworks every day. Like they were spending 8 hours a day on a drawing, and they could produce 1 or 2 drawings per day, like a really good quality of drawings. And now, to be honest, it's hard to find someone even finishing a homework, like usually. Like people, I guess, especially young folks, are way more demanding, like in terms of skill, I think.
You know,
Like I don't know, like what is your take on it, because like you are not a teacher, like per se.
yeah.
So I don't know what experience you have with this type of stuff, or do you have any observations?
When it comes to learning, I'm not too sure. I mean, I can kind of see like the trends on, let's say, Facebook. Learning now, and I think now people they're not doing. I don't know. Maybe I'm in different circles, and maybe I'm just looking at concept artists rather than like illustrators and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Right? You know, back in the day, you know, concept art and perhaps illustration and the likes, you know, they all had similar kind of processes of learning. You know, the days of like CG Hub and CA and stuff like that, where
Mm-hmm.
everybody were doing studies of different, you know, and everybody was digitally painting or something, right? But now the processes are different. You know, a final image now you can get it in so many different ways, right? So many different ways. You know,
Yeah,
and
but I mean, in the end, like because of all of these tricks, more and more people just forget. Like it will be really easier if you just learn how to draw it or paint it and then use tricks instead of like just like using tricks to do something. Like I
yeah.
like to use tricks, like I am all about using tricks because like with the tricks that I know, I am capable of making stuff that I wouldn't be able to do the other way.
Yeah,
But I think like a lot of people are like kind of getting lazy with with all the tricks that they have up their sleeves.
well, what do you mean? They're getting lazy with
Uh,
the tricks are making them lazy, you say?
yeah, like kinda okay. For me, it's always about the environments because like I completely sucks ass in terms of like painting environments and females.
And
These are like my two least favorite topics because I just find them really hard. And with like I can make a good environment or at least a decent environment because I know what type of software to use that will give me a good result, what type of render I need to make to like achieve a good result or at least a decent result, and I will be capable of like working something out. Like there is a hope for me in this manner. But when I'm trying to just paint an environment, I feel like most of the time completely lost because it's just hard. It's like I'm more interested in characters, I guess, and in monsters instead of like the environments. So I learned to use a lot of tricks to like make up for the lack of skill in these fields, I guess.
Yeah, you know, and I feel as though that kind of younger generation, they're capitalizing on that even more, you know. So, and you know, it's fair dues, you know. You can get, you know, with the tools available now, you can do so much, you know. And I don't want to say that, you know, you're not, it doesn't make you as creative or anything like that. Perhaps you know, it doesn't leave you as technically skilled, you know, in terms of draftsmanship and all of that, you know, and painting or drawing and stuff. But in terms of being creative and coming out with like amazing illustrations and stuff, you know, you can do all of that with you know, with the tools available. Um, Probably maybe not my cup of tea as much. You know, I do enjoy seeing. Or it depends. I kind of I've always loved illustration and stuff, right? And even concept art that kind of has that tradition.
Yeah, I guess like it's also kind of easy to observe, especially in concept art, because I feel like more and more concept art is getting really similar to each other. Like there's a lot of like cool designs and games and movies are really similar in a sense. Like of course like the same people are working on these productions, but I kind of feel like sometimes the tricks are dictating the, let's say, the design decisions or something like this.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
also like for the monsters, let's say like what is the monster like from the recent years, like let's say recent 5 years, that you really remember as you remember, let's say, a Diablo, like in terms of being a really a classical design, like the design, this something.
Well, in any game, in
Yeah, or in a movie.
let me think.
Like let's
Uh,
say in the last 5 years, because I guess this is like a good like time span. I don't say there are not like a lot of great designs, but I don't think I remember any design that really became the classic.
yeah, I can't think of things on the top of my head. I mean, then again, I haven't been playing games maybe as much, or you know, maybe seeing a movie or something that had something.
Like for me, it maybe I would say some bosses from Dark Souls, because they are really original. Let's like admit it. They have original bosses, and kinda the game became the like golden standards for the for making for game for a hard game, like something is Dark Souls of something. Like I can only think about Dark Souls.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Adrian wrote about Darkest Dungeon. Like, okay, the style is unique, but the monsters in Darkest Dungeon were not that unique. The style was making the game great, I guess.
I've played Monster Hunter, right? Which is I don't know, like a new game. Maybe I think that that's probably got quite his. Maybe the designs in that game aren't as new, but you know, I did like some of the designs in that. They're you can say they're monsters, but they're not very monsters. I mean, they're like more realistic kind of. I really like the designs in that, you know. But again, that has a rich history, you know, and
What game? Because I guess I missed the title.
Monster Hunter.
Ah, yeah, Monster Hunter. Yeah, I guess there might be some like really cool designs there, but
But
nothing that really is like a classic, like the Lord of Terror, let's say.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, even in my games that I like, actually, to be honest, you know, like Final Fantasy, the as we get closer to more recent Final Fantasy games, right,
Mm-hmm.
then I've liked or disliked the design choices. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, so I'm a sucker for
I
old
will
school.
need to watch some sort of a like top 10 of like classic monster designs or something like this to refresh my knowledge about the topic because I feel kind of rusty.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like Final Fantasy, you know, I used to love reading the bestiary of the manuals and, you
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, and even on YouTube, right, you can get videos where where you can see the summons, right, the summons from every game, you know, and how it's evolved and stuff. And yeah, I like watching those, but again, yeah, I prefer design-wise. I know the graphic and everything has improved in the later games, but
Now you reminded me about talking about YouTube and everything, and Star Wars. I recently started like watching the lore videos from Star Wars, and I was really pleasantly surprised how complex the Star Wars are. Like I never knew the Star Wars have this many things going on, like in the official lore.
oh yeah, I mean, I can't call myself a lore expert in Star Wars, but yeah, I do follow it a little bit, and you know, there's YouTubers, Star Wars Theory, and all of these kind of channels.
Yeah, I was like like reading, listening about like the Darth Vader and all the Force and Jedi's and all the stuff, and I was like, wow, like
Yeah,
I never was like a huge Star Wars fan. Like I liked it, but nothing too crazy. But now I'm kind of started digging it. Like it started to be really interesting. For
you're gonna have to force yourself to be interested in it because you're getting a lot of Star Wars content coming up, man.
that would be nice.
And, Disney had like an event recently, right, which which showed them making another 10 Star Wars um, 10 Star Wars spin-offs, right? So there's
Nice.
tons of new shows coming out, and you know, that was kind of took a well, in my opinion, it took a bit of a back step with the recent trilogy, but since the Mandalorian, I think we're getting the good old Star Wars back, you know, it's in good hands.
Yeah, I still have not seen the last episode, so no spoilers, please.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm still waiting to see them.
You're in for a treat, man. That's all I can say. Yeah.
I heard it's like the best thing that happened to Star Wars in a long time, the ending of the Mandalorian, but I still need to like watch it.
I am so surprised you haven't been spoiled yet. Like it's
Yeah,
just
I'm also surprised. Like
it was everywhere.
I have not seen a single spoiler from the Mandalorian. I saw it only the information. It is great, but no spoilers at all.
It was like it was trending on Twitter. It was like everywhere.
Huh? I'm not using Twitter, but maybe this is what saved me.
So yeah, I'm quite surprised you missed it.
I guess I'm getting close to finishing the girl. You wanna pick another one because we have like a really good tempo for like hour and a half. We made 2 monsters,
Yeah, yeah, you're doing
and
really
you did like 5 or 7 or something like this.
You're a liar, man. You're a liar. You said you weren't good at, female characters. You've done a wicked job with that, man. I think your anatomy is looking more.
To be honest, this might be actually the first female character I have done purely from imagination, like the first one. I don't remember ever painting a female character from imagination without any reference. Well, like let's say the small window is not a reference, but it kind of gave me a bit of hope. Okay, so we will randomize the next one. Maybe this time it will be an Overlord. So from A to L, 1 to 7.
Wow. Do you want to pick? You pick this time.
No, because like I have the basic idea what is where, so it won't be fair.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's go with. Do you have a K? Is it a K there?
Yeah.
K,
Okay.
K, K9. Let's go for K9.
To 7.
I hope K9's not a dog or anything. quadruped.
No, go K, but it's only to 1 to 7.
Oh right, okay, my bad. Let's five, five, I think.
Which one? I zoned out. I was responding on the chat.
Five.
5. Okay.
I bet it's going to be a variant of either the
Oh, okay. Stormlord.
Oh, okay.
I guess it
Okay. This
it's
is going to be the
something maybe not easier, but closer to the preferred monsters, I guess. Monsters. I need to save the file. Okay, I send you the image.
Right.
This one, okay. This is like a typical. It's hard to get more typical demon, I guess. No, this one will be cool, and probably it will be the worst drawing I will do in a week, because I said it will be easy.
You've got this, man. You've got this.
Yeah, I guess this one is like a really nice for you, a muscled demon, bipedal with claws and fangs and horns and everything. I guess this is your type of monsters.
I don't know, man. I think judging your recent YouTube videos, I think you're going to be quite confident in this area as well.
You have no information on
Do you know, like talking about the confidence and the amount of sketches and everything? Do you know the guy Taran Fiedler?
Say the name again.
Taran Fiedler, something like this. He is drawing this massive monsters, like a lot of dragon, like folks.
No. Okay.
This monster kind of reminded me of him, because it's like it is purely his type of stuff, like muscled dragon-like demons and everything. I will also send him to you. Like, I need to send you Taran and Naran Batar. I will only write a small note. And a Myth 2 game. Myth 2. I need to check this one up. Yeah, and if anyone is like having any questions, if anyone is watching still, feel free to ask them in chat. So we might answer them. What would you say was your like favorite monster in Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 and then Diablo 3?
Ooh, easy is going to be the Black Knights in Diablo 1.
Okay, without Black Knights, because you're right, it was too easy.
Yeah, that was, that's just hands down. Outside of Black Knight, let me think.
And without Still Lords and Doom Guards, and I don't remember the name of the fourth.
I think. I did like the mages a lot, I like the mages a lot. Let me see what else I liked. I liked. Oh no, Venom Lord. Yeah, Venom Lords. The Balrogs. Yeah, Balrogs.
Which one were Venom Lords?
Yeah,
How
the
they
Balrogs.
look like? Ah, yeah, the Balrogs were really cool. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that to me is like probably an easy second favorite as well, because it's typical.
Yeah, that's right.
Science,
They are extremely cool.
Diablo 2. I have drawn the boss Diablo a billion times.
Wait, you got muted for a bit. What was it?
Diablo 2, if you're including bosses, I've drawn Diablo many times. So hats off to Michio Okamura. Design was awesome.
I
Big
guess
Red
my
Dynasty.
brain is zoning out or something. Like which monster?
Diablo himself.
Ah, okay. Without Diablo.
Without Diablo, okay.
Yeah,
Diablo.
like the casual monster, like the one you kill just pretty much for fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Two. Which one? Which one is the most iconic? Do, 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 do. I don't want to say something simple like Goatman because
Mhm.
yeah, I really like the Goatman. The Goatman were they were in Diablo 1 as well, and I really like them in Diablo 1. Um, yeah, maybe I know it's a simple answer, but yeah, the Goatman. I think you know
Hmm.
they had that kind of realistic dark
Yeah,
gothic vibe, didn't they?
Godsmen were cool. That's right.
Yeah.
Especially this guy from Diablo 1 that was begging you to not kill him.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know the sound effects in Diablo 1, I preferred them more than Diablo 2. The sound effects they make in Diablo 1 was
Hmm.
just nah.
I really hope they like will nail the sound effects in Diablo 4 too.
Me too, man. You know the Goatmen in Diablo 2. I think a lot of things in Diablo 3, I mean 4, sorry, they have this kind of it's great for world building because they made it very tribal. The Goatmen they were very tribal. They
Hmm.
had like clothing, they had like banners, they were like they had like you can tell.
Hmm.
Yeah, Diablo 1 and 2, it seemed like servants of the Diablo and Baal, and it seemed more like demonic kind of thing.
Hmm.
Whereas
And have you ever played Titan Quest?
I've watched it again. I've watched my brother play it. I haven't played it myself. No, no, no.
I guess you will enjoy it because a lot of like guys say it is actually way better than Diablo 3 and it's close to be as good as Diablo 2. So I have no idea why, but your cam in my like OBS type of thing is changing the size. Like sometimes it's small, sometimes it's too big,
Oh
and
right,
you are
yeah.
falling out of a mana UI. So
I noticed it as well. Yeah, I don't know why.
huh,
Don't know why.
must be something with the Streamlabs, I guess. Yeah, one of the things that I really noticed now because like I'm trying to go with a little bit more dynamic pose. I have no idea how to approach this.
I think what I'm gonna do as well is I
Oh.
feel a little bit more warmed up with stuff, so I think, and because we're gonna do the different variants as well, I think I'll just maybe
Yeah.
stick to one and get him painted up before.
Yeah, I see. I'm just laid like I deleted the layer for the first time and just laid the first strokes, and you are already finishing.
I think the last ones, man, you were quick with them, really quick.
Yeah, but it's good to be the slower one.
Yeah, some of these my like peers who kind of critique me, right? Their one big crit I always get is, dude, slow down, and not because like like I don't want to say like
Huh?
like super fast or anything, but it
But you are.
to taking the time to think about things is definitely a lot more taxing for the brain, right?
Yeah.
But it's just better, it's better
I
when you
agree because like recently I was like really wondering what is like this magical piece that I'm missing to improve my artwork, and it turned out it was like just a time. Just spend more time on a piece and focus a bit more on it, and it
Yeah,
will be better.
focus,
It was pretty
focus.
much like the that giveaway, and I like spent more times on one artwork, like the giant that I have done in the like a castle or something like this, and it was like my, I would say it was my best artwork, and by the amount of likes, I would also say other think it is my best artwork. So,
Oh,
and the only thing I added was just more time to it.
the big skeleton zombie in the
Yeah,
cave.
the
Yeah,
one that
yeah,
I
yeah,
sent you when I was
yeah,
like
yeah.
struggling with light and
Dude,
everything, and
dude,
it was just like thinking more and like working more on it, and
oh
yeah.
yeah, I really
Same
like that
for the
one.
dragon. It was like the design that I spent more time on, and the illustration that I spent more time on, and I felt also like it was one of the better illustrations that I have done. Just
Yeah,
like taking time. This is the hard part. The
yeah,
secret
100.
to everything.
I mean, I really like that piece, man. You know, the lighting, mood, mystery, story. You had all of it. You ticked all the boxes, man.
Yeah, but to be honest, if like not for your critique, a friend of mine, Jakub and Konstantinos, this piece will be maybe like 20% of what it is now. Like it always like it's crazy for me how much the critique, like how much the opinion of other people can benefit like your art. Like just
Yeah,
asking a question, like so many like obvious things you
yeah,
like forget pretty much about doing art.
yeah. That's getting feedback is it helps so much, man. You know, even if it's not from like a professional per se, you know, it's like sometimes a person, right, who could be noodling away on like something silly and
Mm-hmm.
tedious, right, and then somebody comes along and says, "Wait a minute, what are you doing there?" You know, and then you see it afterwards, and you're like, "What?" You know, like, why is his hand pointing that way, or why is it his hand was so long, or something? And then you're like, "What? How come I didn't see that?"
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. It's also an interesting topic because, like, I guess you know Bros Rigney right now,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, when I was like listening to his tutorial, because he has this bog witch, hag witch, hag troll, something like
Yeah,
this
I've got that one.
tutorial. When he was also talking about the feedback, and he was like, "Don't listen to anyone's feedback. Just like give yourself a feedback. Like just be like critique your own works. That you don't really need other artists or other people input, because like a really huge amount of input pretty much is really um, bad in a sense. Like you will get a lot of bad advices, and you might by accident like make a piece worse if you like listen to the advices. But I'm not sure if I entirely agree on this. Like I think going out to people and asking them like
It depends.
questions.
I think it depends. You know, I think there are some people, right, even professionals, right, you know, can give. I don't want to say wrong advice, but just very subjective advice, right? And sometimes you might not need it. Like certain things, right? We can all take advice and like, oh, you know, your anatomy is wrong. You drew six fingers instead of five. Like, yeah, that is like, come on, give me advice. You know,
Mm.
that's correct. You know, you're happy with that. But then there's other things where it's like, I think some people uh, get it. I don't want to say they get it wrong, but they offer very subjective advice, right?
Hmm.
And that can maybe be hampering. I don't know the answer to this, right? But sometimes I feel as though like people they don't critique your work from your perspective, right? They critique it from their own perspective, right? You know, sometimes somebody might say like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling values or something. You know,
Hmm.
it's not quite correct, or the values are washed out. You might find another artist who you admire, right? You know, and they do they work, you know, they make it work, You know, they can make something
Mhm.
work. So you know, we've seen like like children book illustrations, right? Now they might have the worst anatomy ever, right? You know, they just draw like shapes for noses and all of that stuff. And somebody, a good professional, they might look at it and be like, no, 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 the anatomy of that, triangle for a nose, that's wrong. It's meant to have this plane and that plane and that
Mhm.
plane. And then you're thinking like, that's not what the artist was trying to achieve, you know. You
Mhm.
gotta you gotta be able to critique somebody from their own perspective and help improve them the way they'd want to be improved by, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's also quite hard to give a good critique on something. To be
Yeah,
honest, like to
very hard.
give a valuable critique, it's a really hard task in my opinion.
Yeah, I find it tricky as well. You know, some people go out of their way to do it, and I find it quite difficult to do
If,
so.
for me, it's kind of funny because like pretty much I always send like my artworks if I have any questions to Jakub, to you, and to Konstantinos, and like it kind of got to the point where I kind of, after sending them the artwork, like you the artwork, I kind of know what I will hear back, like from, like for example what Jakub will say, what I should change. I kind of have the basic understanding what he would say, and then he says this thing and it's make me like, okay, I was right, he was going to say this
Yeah,
type of thing. And same for Konstantinos, like when I send him something, like 99% of time I am sure he will say just add some like volumetric lighting, play a bit more with like the direct light or shadows or something like this. But even though I know I need to do this type of thing, it's hard to convince me I need to do this type of thing if he don't say it to me. Like only then the word gets the power it needs to, for me to understand it.
yeah, it's a tricky one, you know, because I feel as though like I think the artist yourself, I think we've got to know who we want critique from, you know.
That's also right.
Yeah, I think that person should know us and our sensibilities a little bit more, you know.
That's
You
right.
know, you could. I mean, there's tons of artists I admire, but they've got completely different, way and style and stuff. And yeah, I might just that's probably not where I am at the moment. Like,
Yeah, one of the things that I'm really like willing to do, like I don't know, maybe if the future, if I would be like extremely super rich and will have like $10,000 to burn just like that, I will. I always wanted to like hire the top-notch artists, like the best of the best, to make an illustration based on the same description to see how they will approach it.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just to see the differences and the similarities of.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Like I'm in a Discord group with some friends of his or whatever, right? And these guys are doing like spit paints or
Mhm.
and they're coming out with some really different stuff compared to each other. And yeah, it's just really cool, man. It's something I kind of envy. Lately, I've I've not got good creativity. Coming out with good ideas or anything, it bothers me, right? Because when I see some people coming out with all of these crazy concepts, right?
Mhm.
There's a guy, Pablo Domingos or something. I've got him on
Uh
Facebook,
huh.
yeah. And, I see like he done like a floating lily pad, with like a giant floating city lily pad thing, and I'm like, oh man, how'd you come up with that idea? Right? So
That's right.
and
Yeah, sometimes for me, sometimes it's hard to like to bridge the gap where you can think about something cool and actually make it look cool, and to for it to be a cool idea. Like for me, this is like the highest tier like task when you are trying to design something. Like where is the line for something to be cool?
yeah,
That's really a tough one. As imagine this guy is giving me more troubles than I expected. Like, I guess this is the like curse of like having muscular demons. You want to draw every single muscle, but you don't know how this muscle look like. And
Yeah.
boom. Problems.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sam, sorry, 1 second. I'm just speaking to my mum.
No problem.
She's come with a bowl of fruit. Thank you, mum. That's it. I'll open it.
I have no idea how to make a face. It kind of looks on the miniature like he has this like huge glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Like he has these weird pixels. It kind of looks like a fly eyes or something like this.
Oh
For
yeah,
me.
it does actually. Yeah, it does. I'm looking at it. To me, it's kind of got a little bit of a Diablo type of face, right?
Yeah, like some sort of a like demon or a lizard or something like this, but those pixels on the eyes kind of look to me like the orbs, like the huge orbs with like multiple eyes in them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
There
see
is
it.
this
I'm
something
zooming in and
with
I
it.
see it. That actually looks quite kind of funny.
Yeah, like I'm trying to like get out this image of my from my head, but I can't. Like I see a fly on his face.
Oh, now that you've said that, I feel as I have to. I want to kind of implement that because I feel as I'm just drawing generic demon head, and I think I'm gonna try and change it into what you
Yeah,
said.
this is one of the things that I really like about drawing from sprites. Like you have 100 pixels to pick from. Like the informations you get is like 0, so you really need to interpret everything, like in a way. Like back in the days, I only once designed something based on a sprite, like, and it's actually one of the coolest challenges I have ever done.
What turning something into a sprite?
No, like to make a high quality something out of a low quality sprite.
Oh,
When you
right,
have like a really limited amount of informations to gather from.
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I don't think I've sure if I've tried that as much. I do like sprite art a lot. You know, I love playing. I told you, like at the moment now, I'm playing an old a game called Alundra, right? Which is it's like a Zelda type of game that's got amazing, gorgeous 2D sprite art, right? Um, and I love my Street Fighter, and I love the kind of the
Yeah, especially for all the old games, like
yeah.
you had like 5 pixels per character or something like this, like just make it look cool somehow.
Yeah. There's so much, in these things. You know, if you kind of experiment with it, then you realize how much, like knowledge or how much skill it takes to execute something nice. Like I think I tried before to do Alucard, like try and do like a detailed
Uh-huh.
version of Alucard sprite from Symphony, and I think I tried Metroid or Samus from Metroid, right? And just the way well, this is me trying to make a sprite or try doing a sprite design like in high def or something, right? And yeah, it's just the posing and stuff to get the right angle. It's like, yeah, it's so tricky.
Have you ever like played with pixel art or something like this?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah, I wonder because like a lot of different folks are like recently trying some pixel art, and I can imagine how hard and frustrating it must be if you can't get the pixel right, like the pixel is just not the way it should be, like
Yeah,
that you are missing 1 pixel to add or something to make it look cool.
interesting, man. I wonder. I'd like to try it just for the sake of seeing how difficult it might
Actually, I think the hardest part in this demon is the face.
Just one generic demon head.
Yeah, it has like this. It's hard to go out of the generic demon face.
Yeah.
It looks really generic, to be honest. Like the one in the sprite.
I'm gonna take your example and do that giant weird bug eyes.
It will be kind of cool to see how the former artists of Blizzard who designed the original monsters, what will be their take on them now.
Yeah, that's good actually. Interesting.
I would try to contact someone who's working on Diablo and be like, hello, do some monsters for me, please.
I mean, the Michio guy, like, I want to, freaking give him a big hug to say he's done an awesome job with the concepts. But the animators, I really want to know who animated Diablo 1.
Yeah, like imagine, okay, I can imagine like making a lot of monsters, but imagine you have to make all of these frames out of them. Like you have to animate the death, you have to animate the attack from the front, side, back front, something from every single angle multiple times. I can imagine how taxing it was to do this type of stuff.
And don't forget, they were, I think they were clay motion, wasn't they? So
I don't know.
Yeah, they designed them or made them in clay or like real, and then they stop motion the the animation.
I think from the quality, I would say it looks, for me, it looks a bit more like a 3D renders, like a simple 3D renders, just pixelated. But I might be wrong.
Maybe.
I guess there will be the article somewhere about it, so I will try to search it today. But yeah, if they have done all of this, but because looking now at the Stormlord, he kind of looks like a clay, to be honest.
The animation.
Yeah, I mean the model of the Stormlord, the one we are drawing now. The sprite kind of looks like it was made of clay. I would believe it was made of clay, but I don't think they went this far, like with Diablo. It's kind of hard for me to imagine like a bunch of guys sitting and sculpting Diablo from clay. It would be kind of funny, to be honest.
Start making stuff up, or if they were inspired by like that you had from Donkey Kong. You remember Donkey Kong?
The audio muted you a bit for a second.
Yeah. Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I do.
Was that done by like clay stop motion as well? Or was that like 3D?
I didn't know that.
I'm not sure either. I was wondering. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely something I need to check and to see. For the no, I pretty much I don't know any single game that used clay motion that in a really not obvious way. I think there was this game with this worm. I don't remember how it was called, but actually this guy that we are doing right now is the hardest one, because I feel like I can do the most with him, and because of it I kinda feel that I don't know how to do it.
I feel it's seems pretty generic. There was some scary ones either. I've done dark.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like this is a really generic type of monster, but I don't really remember seeing this type of monster anywhere else in any game. Like, what game actually have a bulky demon with horns and long claws?
And tail. It's got a tail and it shoots lightning bolts off, man. That's really good. I kind of like some the effects, the what do you call it,
Mm-hmm.
the fireballs and stuff from the Diablo 1 as well. The lightning effect from these monsters and the spell, I kind of preferred it in Diablo 2. Diablo 2 had like a bit of a bloom thing going on, right?
In Diablo, it was like it was kind of missing the roughness, I would say, in Diablo 2. Diablo 1 had more the fire and the flames were a bit more rough in a sense.
Yeah. And it had, I don't know if they were taking like realistic, like for the fireball, it looked like it was a realistic explosion that they kind of maybe recorded and then they implemented. Whereas fireball in Diablo 2, it looked like they made.
For Diablo 1, I believe they just made some storm bolts and just photographed them or something like this.
Yeah, I think very well.
I don't know. This guy is really generic. I have problems with it. Yeah, and also one funny thing for me, like, if you would say, what is like your daily schedule for you? Like, are you waking up early and working throughout the day and like going to sleep early, or you are like a typical artist, like just going all nighters all the time?
Because of work, I kind of have to be on my computer from 10 till, say, well, when I wake up to, actually, I can be early. I've got to be at the desk from 10 till 4 5 ish, and then whoever starts early, if I were to start at 7 or something, then I can finish early. If I start 10 is the latest, and I'm a late riser, so I'd be on my computer 10 or, maybe a bit late sometimes. But yeah, I would start, I try and maybe do like some kind of warm up. I've been doing like daily paintings and studies and stuff lately. I do that, and I will, yeah, then I would just kind of crack on with my studio work, and then I'm also doing some freelance work. I'm doing a book cover, so I would try to get some time in on that, but I'm not good at managing that.
Actually, are there any like cool projects you recently finished that you are able to talk about?
Not really. I mean, I'm working on a book cover at the moment, but otherwise nothing's finished, and I haven't done anything else really project-wise. What about yourself?
I'm not sure if I can talk about this, but I mean about this one I know I can talk for the cool book covers. I will like upload also the video of the book cover, how it was made in like I guess 1 or 2 days. But recently, the guy contacted me and he wanted a cover for his book, where pretty much, long story short, the humanity like something bad happened and the humanity was forced to live underground and they deteriorated, kind of like Fallout 4 type, like Fallout series type of thingy. But some people, like the ghouls in Fallout, evolved in a really bad way and they started to rule on the earth, like on the surface, and they enslaved humans and they forced them to dig something like in the ground, like for minerals and resources and everything. And it's kind of like in a post-apocalyptic medieval setting, because like thousands of years have passed since like the apocalypse and everything, and they found a room of like the author. Like the author wanted to portray his room in the world, and they started to learn the language out of the heavy metal CDs and like by listening to the music, and they started to like naming themselves as like classic heavy metal artists, like basically as a metal artist and everything. And there were like characters like named Dio or something like this, or they named the bad guy from the book Rem because they don't really enjoy listening to Rem music or something like this, and I
Oh.
had to like make a cover out of it, so it was pretty much like making the interior of the room. And yeah, I guess this one was one of the more interesting commissions I had in the previous year, because like I finished it in the middle of December or something like this.
Interesting, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but it sounds kind of wild, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess I asked you this, but I don't remember. For the music, what are you listening to mostly?
Um, I kind of like listening to. I don't listen to music too much. Kind of listen to podcasts and stuff mainly.
Uh-huh.
I kind of listen to podcasts and stuff mainly. But if I was, I would probably maybe like. I'm kind of nerd. This is gonna sound really nerdy, man. But I kind of listen to video game soundtracks
Uh-huh.
and just like covers or like some kind of variation of it. You know,
I could expect that, right?
yeah, yeah. That's that. Like, I think.
The audio muted a bit.
I was gonna say what was I
For
listening
like
to?
last 5 seconds, it got muted. I don't know why.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah. So I think the last thing I was listening to was maybe some Super Mario kind of remixed soundtrack.
Yeah, but one have to admit the like original soundtracks from the games like usually are total bangers. Like most of the time they are like the best music out there, to be honest. Like, have you listened to the soundtrack from Cyberpunk?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Every single like piece of music in this game is a banger. Like everything is good in terms of music for me, to the point where I started, like when I run the game, I was sitting in the menu because the music in the menu is so good. I was like, okay, I need to listen the whole track in the menu, and it happened to me like multiple times. I just like restarted the game because of something. I went to the shop or turned off the PC or something like this. I turned on the game and I was like, okay, I will start playing in like 5 minutes because the music in the menu needs to go through first, because it is so good, to be honest. Especially if you're like into the electro type of things. In my opinion, this is easily one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard in any game. So it's also one for the bingo why I love Cyberpunk, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, man. I play it, man. I feel as though this is something that could really test the power of your PC or so I heard as well. So yeah,
I guess you don't even need a really powerful PC to play it. Like, if you want to go with Ultra and everything, then yes, but as far as I know, it looks, even on the lowest setting, it looks really nice still. So,
I've got like some ultimate computer, man. You know, I've got 2070 in
so
here.
it will be more than enough then, to
Yeah,
be
so
honest.
I just, I haven't made use of it. I play
Yeah.
crappy old games, that require 8-bit graphics.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I bought a powerful new graphic card. Oh, so you will be playing all the new games? No, I will be playing old games, but faster.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess 270 will be more than enough. Like, I have 280 and everything is on ultra without any problems, like a solid 40 FPS, without overclocking anything, because I don't know how to overclock anything. But a friend of mine is using 180 Ti and also is pretty much having everything on ultra, I guess. So I guess you are more than okay.
yeah, I've got a backlog of games that I really should be playing. I want to play Jedi Fallen Order.
I mean, yeah, you need to play Dark Souls and Cyberpunk
Oh, yeah.
and the Gothic one, because you still never played Gothic. what is unacceptable. I guess now we have the Myth 2 to play because it seemed to be a really cool game.
Yep. Let's add that to the list.
So yeah, this year is not going to be easy in terms of gaming. And also you should play Hunt, because Hunt is extremely nice game. It's really competitive, especially if you like a really challenging game. Then Hunt is a game to get challenged.
Oh, okay. What's Hunt? I've not heard of that. What's that?
Yeah, it's also really nice. It's like 8086, 8089 Louisiana, something like this in terms of a setting. I was never really a Wild West type of guy, but after this one I was like pew pew revolvers. I really like Wild West now.
Yeah, I mean, like Wild West games. I've missed out the legendary Red Dead Redemption, which is like the cult classic game.
This is like a Red Dead Redemption but darker, like more evil Red Dead Redemption, I would say, in terms of a stylistic style to it added. The years of not sketching are now catching up to me. Like, I feel how rusty I am in terms of like sketching anything.
I think you're sketching and cooking. Solid.
Like, I was always sketching a lot for work and everything, but I never was like just. I always like avoided sketching for just the sake of sketching, just sitting with the sketchbook and just sketching. I like never really enjoyed it. I guess it was
Right.
a bit out of like maybe not fear, but the results were not what I would expect them to be. So I was like avoiding it a bit, but now I feel like avoiding sketching really catches up.
I've actually been sketching a little bit more lately, actually, and that's probably because I've, here's a good tip, right? Here's a pro tip for anybody. Like, instead of buying sketchbooks, right, what you can do, right, is to buy a cone binder, right? It's one of those,
Uh-huh.
cones. Yeah, you can buy a cone binder, and then just buy like tons of, copy sheet paper or whatever you like, and you can just bind them into sketchbooks, and you're going to save a lot of money. You can make tons of sketch pads. So I bought a cone binder recently, and I'm just so gassed. I made this. I've got tons. I've got like massive packs of A2 size paper. So I'm
Uh-huh.
just I'm just making tons of. I mean,
For
yeah.
me, I don't know if you see the cam, but for me this was doing the trick for a long time. I kinda abandoned it. I need to go back to it, but this is just a roll of paper from IKEA, and it's like I don't know how many meters like long, like 20 or 50 or something like this, and you just roll out the paper and draw constantly on the same sheet of paper, pretty much. So
Awesome.
yeah, so for like this one, I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see.
This
Yeah.
is the like already part that I have drawn on. This much is left, the
There you
thicker
go then.
one.
You
Yeah, I
have
need to really go
a
back to it. Yeah, I pretty much decided to just go all with the anatomy on this one, and I was just practicing anatomy and figure drawing and everything, because like I really enjoy like looking at the processes of everything. So
I think you are quite the sketcher then. Right? You're saying that you don't sketch, but it seems like
yeah,
you are
but
quite.
like to be honest, I bought it like 1 year ago or something like this, and it's still not finished. And when I got this brilliant idea, like, oh, okay, I will draw in this type of paper. Like, I have never seen anyone doing so, apart from like Feng Zhu on his video. And then I saw Evan Mel Amundsen post that he bought this exactly the same paper from IKEA, and he finished the whole roll in like 2 weeks, a month, or something like this.
Of
And I
course,
was like, after like drawing and drawing and drawing for like 2 or 3 months in it, I was like, okay, fine. So yeah, I was kind of like, oh Jesus Christ, why, why couldn't he wait until I finished this piece of paper?
he's a beast at drawing. No, did you see his art dump for the Assassin's Creed Valhalla game?
I have seen it, and it's just crazy. I'm not really a huge fan of the stylistics of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, it's kind of too, maybe not cartoony, but it has this really like I could say even Mel Amundsen type of vibe to it, and it does not sit right for me with the Vikings somehow. But yeah, but the art he had done is really beautiful.
Oh, because I thought it was the other way around in the sense that he did a lot of concept art, but maybe his direction wasn't followed because I thought maybe it did look realistic. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it, but
Yeah, like I only watched a handful of it, but as much as I have seen, I felt it kinda looked uh, kinda a bit too much like a fairy tale, I would say. I was not feeling like the Norse mythology, like the, let's say, maybe not the serious like designs and proportions and everything, but I kind of felt the mythology kind of turned into a fairy tale with
hmm.
with the
You know,
style to it.
I'm actually referencing his work quite a lot.
Yeah,
um,
like me too, because like
no,
I
no, no.
love the way he draws and the way
Sorry.
he like portrays everything, because he
Oh,
has
yeah.
this really cool organic feel to it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I mean, I didn't mean him. I do anything cartoony and kind of awesome, stylized, kind of whimsical, not whimsical. I do tend to like referencing them, but I meant for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and generally in my thing, I love to take reference Jeff Simpson. You know,
I don't know this one.
oh, I mean, I'm sure you've seen. If he works on assassin games as well, and he's worked
Hmm.
on Valhalla as well. But if you look at his concept artwork,
Hmm.
Valhalla, I think you might really like it because it's very realistic, and I was surprised. I thought they actually chose his designs over Evans because his designs were that much more gritty and realistic, and
Hmm. Yeah. Also, the problem that I had with Valhalla was like Assassin's Creed always was about the like historical accuracy, like at least to some extent, but the games were historically accurate. And all of a sudden they like completely dropped the idea of being like historically accurate. Like it kinda went into this weird land of fantasy, in my opinion. It was weird for me.
it's a shame. Right? Yeah,
So
because if you see Jeff Jeff Simpson, his work is awesome, right? And I really like his work so much that if there's anyone to kind of design Diablo type of game, I would like
uh-huh.
that. 'Cause he's got very, if you look at his work here, it's kind of. I mean, I'll link his work here. He's got
Uh-huh.
that right level of disturbing quality. It's got a disturbing quality.
I need to check him out then, because I guess I will enjoy his works.
Yeah, I can guarantee.
Nice. Yeah, so many new things today. I was not expecting so many new things to
Likewise,
discover
man.
today.
I think I'm gonna
On the ground?
yeah, quick shadow on the ground, and then I'm gonna
Yeah,
go to my previous monsters. Not unless we want to start another one, or
yeah,
not unless you want to.
we can try to make another one. Like 4, it will be a really good. I was expecting to make like 1. Oh,
Yeah, this
and
is.
the stream
I,
is
I was-
quite long at the moment. Do you still have time?
I have time, and
Okay, cool.
I'm enjoying myself. So
Okay,
I don't know.
so
It's up
we
to
can
you.
continue.
Really up to you.
Yeah, the only thing that I need to like to be asleep in like 3 hours top or 2 hours top, because like I have to wake up to work in the morning, because like I have classes like in the morning
Oh,
where I teach like drawing, and it's kind of funny because for like I don't remember how long, but it have to be like 2 or 3 months. I was like going to sleep in the like around 5 or 4 in the morning and like waking up in the mid afternoon or something like this. And now I have to go to sleep around midnight and like wake up at 7 a.m. I guess. And to be honest, I have no idea what is going on with time. Like, the world is weird around these hours. It's completely not working for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been really bad with it as well. Really bad with time lately as well.
Okay, I guess mine is not that bulky. I guess I will only make the head smaller and it will be more bulky then. Golden method to make something look big. Make smaller head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he is big, okay.
Hey, no, you can't give away them secrets, man. That's like these are like
Yeah, even in real life it kinda works. If you want to appear taller, just make your head smaller. It even rhymes. So this is the ultimate truth. Okay, so go with from A to L, 1 to 7.
this is a really going to throw it away. Let's go with B. B3. What's B?
B3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea what's in here. Oh, the dark one.
Oh right, okay. You have to end it
Nice.
under the most famous little.
Yeah,
little
the gummy guy. Oh, cool. It will
gonna-
be extremely hard because it's so easy.
That is true.
Nice.
That is true.
I was not expecting the most basic mob to appear today. Cool. Okay, I have no idea how to tackle this guy.
Question. You know the Snow Witch. Can you remember what color the bloodstain was? I was gonna say blue, right? It was dark, vivid blue, wasn't it?
Once again, the names of these guys?
No. You know the Snow Witch.
Yeah, Snow Witch, uh-huh.
Remember what the color of the bloodstain was?
The Snow Witch?
I think.
I guess they will be blue. It will make sense if they will be blue.
Yeah, I think it was blue.
But I remember there was one variation that had a weird colored orbs, like it was not matching. One had yellow, there was yellow, blue, and red.
The yellow one, I think, was the strongest version. The strongest version.
Could be because it was also the rarest one, I guess.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
Oh, wait, I will see in the web. Snow Witch, Diablo 1. Yeah, the black one, like the casual one, had red orbs.
Yeah.
And wait, I will see if there are gifs of them. Resistances. There are no attacks, animations. I guess the blue one had orb. Yeah, the blue one definitely had yellow orbs. The soul burner definitely had yellow orbs.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Alright. Hold on, that was the one.
I always like the dark ones, the devilkins and everything. This gummy effect they had if you strike them.
Yeah.
This is like one of the best effects ever.
Yeah, they're so cool, man. You know, funny sound as well.
Yeah, I'm really interested how you will like make this guy, because like what I always noticed when I'm doing like maybe not a redesign but trying to draw something based on a sprite or something like this, I like to not over redesign something. I really like to keep it a bit more as an original, just like a higher version of it. And I guess it kinda, for the redesign for this type of stuff, I think it's not the best way to approach it.
Hmm. Okay.
These guys are funny. This is pretty much because the normal one are called Fallen one? Fallen. So basically these are the
Yeah,
Fallens
that's it.
from the Diablo 2. Like these are the same type of monsters, right?
Yep.
Huh. Funny. Because they look extremely different, to be honest, from the Diablo 2 and 3.
Oh, definitely three.
They are more like goblin-like, I guess, looking. They have this funny, huge feet. I wonder how Feng Zhu would draw Diablo monsters. What will be his take on them?
Yeah, yeah. Like when he does his, the way he draws his character. Well, it's got that kind of look.
Yeah, because he has like a really characteristic style to him, so
Yeah, yeah.
it might be interesting.
When he does redesigns as well, he really thinks about it, man.
Yeah, he actually can redesign something. Like you can see it is redesigned, but you can see it is redesign of something that you are familiar with. After the channel gets like 1 million subscribers or something like this, I will invite him as a guest to our talk. We will know then. I will ask him to redesign something like this from Diablo. When doing this type of stuff, I always wonder why haven't I started earlier, since like this is so cool to do. Also the I sent have I sent you the
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing the one with the spear, right?
Yep.
Because like I noticed these are actually the monsters with the most variations, because you have the one apart from skeletons, but you have the one with the spears and the swords and bucklers.
Okay, well, all no. You're not. You know, each version, each skin of them, did they have a different background? Or did they all have the variations?
No, there are two variations. One of them have a sword and a buckler, and the second, like they have the same color, like two variations. One with the sword and buckler, and with the spear, and all of them have the 4 versions of colors. So like the dark blue, the dark red, the really dark blue, and this golden like or something. So there are like and for the skeletons you have like the captains with the shield. The normal skeletons are holding the axes, and then you have the bowmans also. So like skeletons have one more tier of monsters.
And is it me, or does it look like it's got like a hair?
Yeah,
Like a
I
patch at the top looks like a nice haircut.
I guess it is some sort of a hat or something like this cone type of hat, because when they rotate, it always looks like they were wearing a hat. I always imagine it at least to be a hat or something like this. Like when you have this this helmet with the spike on it, something like this. I always imagined it to be something like this, but I don't know if it's the case. I will give mine this type of hat. Actually, the hands are the hardest part of every single creature.
I've actually drawn some hands recently, so I've got no excuse.
I always really enjoyed like hitting these guys just for them to bounce.
Yeah.
Good memories are coming back.
Again, in Diablo 3, I didn't like them, man. They look like typical, little devil demon things, and they look quite cute,
I liked how like aggressive they got in a sense, but it kinda was not working for me with them escaping after pretty much like stomping near them. Like they looked way too aggressive in my opinion. Like, they looked cool as aggressive monsters, but they did not look cool as the creatures that pretty much like fly off instantly if there are trouble happening. Like I guess the most basic like image of goblin is a bit more accurate for the fallen ones, I guess. Like I always imagine them to be a little bit more goblin-like type of creatures. Also there was this like special guy that you could have you ever gave the sign from the inn to the goblins?
Yeah,
to the fallen ones? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I just remember they gave you this hat, this fool's hat, I guess, or jester hat or something like this. I guess it was a jester hat. Yeah, you after.
Oh.
Or if you gave the sign to the barkeeper, then you got the Harlequin hat, something
Harlequin,
like this.
Harlequin crest, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was the name of the monster in the first one. I think one of the names is Colonzo, right? And the interesting thing is in Diablo 2.
They are shouting Colenso from time to time.
Yeah.
So same for Rakanishu, I guess.
Oh yeah, Rakanishu as well. Yeah. Funny.
Yeah, but I didn't know the Colenso was in Diablo 3, right? Or in 1?
I think it was in 1. I'm sure it was in.
Nice. So many things to learn from the game that is God knows how long, how old. It's kind of funny because like I can kind of hear all of this sound in my head, like while drawing this type of guys. Like even the death sound, I would not be able to like redo it, like to say how it sounds. I just kind of know how it sounds, but I would not be able to like make the same sound with my mouth.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like it's so deeply encoded in my mind. And here I thought I was like smart by not using color to like avoid disasters. And here you are like doing everything in color.
I think your designs are. I like your ones. I feel as though they fit the game more. Mine, you know, again, when I get stylized, I get too much stylized now. That you know, it's annoying because I don't want to have that for Diablo, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I guess like even if we will do this type of streams more often, like it will be even cooler to, let's say, I don't know, maybe invite Konstantinos also to this type of stuff, because he also, as far as I know, like Diablo and Baldur's Gate and everything. So we will be able to see how he will approach this type of thing. Because as far as I'm now looking at the screen, I guess even to make something like just, I don't know, after each 15 seconds the screen to change to the next artist, so then we can pretty much have the unlimited amount of artists at the same time. It will be kind of cool to see how he will approach this type of things, especially since he is like able to like make a photorealistic type of sketch in like seconds. I don't know, have you ever like watched him work?
I think when you I didn't see all of it, but I think when he did the stream with him, he did painting in a cave, right? Like a
Yeah.
demon. Yeah.
And then you tell him to like, okay, could you add a night? And like 5 seconds later, like you manage to blink, and he will paint a night that looks like a photo. It was always like how is he even doing this type of things?
Yeah, I've got a friend at work, right, and he does the same thing with. He's just super fun. Same thing with environments as well. Like it's just.
Sometimes it's like not. It's like I can imagine someone practicing a lot, but sometimes it's not even fair. I guess like it's not even fun to like see how they work, because like okay, I understand you can get inspired, you can get everything, but when you are looking at someone like working this fast with this type of quality, it can only be depressing, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I know them feels, man. I know them feels.
Yeah. Just by looking at this fella, I have like the urge to just go near him and smack him for him to make the bounce. Like just for him being a monster, just to come near him and just do the bounce. This is one of the monsters that definitely gets bullied a lot.
So annoying as well because you know you have to chase them across the room and you know one by one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it will be especially cool to see, because like I can imagine, for example, the acid spitter. Okay, we have done the acid spitter and this one, but how differently I would have to approach, let's say, the fallen one, like the normal fallen one, because he has to be different, or the devilkin, he will have to be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the devilkin will be kind of easy, because like the name kind of suggests he will look like a devil more, but let's say a carver, like the deep blue one, like this one will be challenging for sure.
Fallen and the dark one. Those are the four, right? Broken, Carver, Fallen, and the dark one. That's all of them, right?
Yeah, we are doing the dark one at the moment, so I wonder how it will look like. I guess I'm getting closer to finish with mine.
Yeah, I think. Terror looks so weird that you can't even tell what it is. Kind of go back to do a quick paint over. I think.
I only need to darken her skin because he's like the dark one. So yeah, and a complete mess instead of the hand. Let's just say it's an interpretation of a hand. Yeah, this is actually a really cool and demanding type of a challenge to redesign something like this. I'm really glad we gave it a try.
Kind of did something like this. I think I told you. I did something
Yeah,
like
like we talked about like redesigning every single monster in Diablo, like back in the days, and it's happening.
yeah. I kind of did something like this for Heroes of Might
Yeah,
3.
I remember like your first sketches of Diablo ever, like the first things that I have ever saw you do, and I remember how blown away I was by these. Like I still am. I guess to this day, I can easily say it's one of my favorite sketches ever I have ever seen. Like your stuff that you have done with Diablo and everything.
And since then, my drawing skills has been getting ever worse.
I guess it's a normal feeling for progression.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dumbest feeling that I recently had is like watching, like after like combining the whole video to render it to upload it to YouTube. After like watching me work, like myself working, I feel like I don't know how I did this. Like I have no idea or recollection, like how I know to make something look like this. Like I feel always like that I don't know how to make illustrations like I do. Sometimes, like after finishing the illustration, I feel this like weird disconnection from it. I don't know if you have the same type of thing. Like you are looking at your older stuff, and you feel like you cannot make something like this.
Yeah, I do. I do. There's certain pieces I've done and I've had, a certain maybe a process or brush or whatever, right? And now I don't work that way because of whatever reason. I always sometimes I try and go back to that, and yeah, it's just there's some parts that I kind of like, and then other parts I don't, and then I just can't get it right.
Art endeavor is a weird thing.
Yeah, I felt that quite hard when doing this recent book cover illustration, right? Which is something I haven't done like an illustration or type of thing for a while, right? And where I'm like kind of designing the values in the whole painting rather than just the design, right? And whenever I draw the characters, I kind of haven't done anything in what was it called? The three-quarter length, so you get more detail and more of the upper body, torso. I've done like full characters for like concepts or whatever, right? So kind of going in and doing more detail on like creases and clothing and stuff like that. And I tried doing it and I was just like, what? I can't draw. And I redrew the head. Usually portraits and stuff is something I find really comfortable, right? And I kind of think, oh, I'm okay at this. I'm confident. But I repainted it like 7, 8 times. Oh my gosh! And I was working into the night, and I just still didn't like it. It's just so.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like overly doing art is weird and funny. It's hard to put it in a different way. Like so many questions not answered and will never be answered.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I have finished the 4 guys. Actually, it's 4 more than I expected to make today, so 3
Yeah.
more than I expected to make, so it turned out really nicely. And it will be actually the longest stream, I guess, because it's almost 3 hours at the moment.
Don't lie, really?
So, yeah,
What?
time-
I can't believe it.
time really flies.
If you would have asked me how long, I would have said 1.5 hours.
Yeah,
would
so 1.5 hour was around the end of the succubus, something like this. The time was pretty much identical for every single monster.
That's crazy, man.
Yes, yeah. Can you show them like together or something like this? We will see how they turned off. Oh yeah, you did already, okay. Nice.
So,
Yeah, later I will have to rewatch the video to see your designs. You will need to send them to me. I will just upload them somewhere. Yeah, this looks cool. Now I kinda miss my don't have any colors. Now I have. Now I want to add colors to them.
hey, maybe you can go and you can kind of.
Yeah, I guess later I will be brave enough to work with colors from the start.
I think. Let me just have a few more brush strokes just to try.
Yeah, so we have 4 done, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times 7. A really complicated math. I don't have a brain for counting. Yeah, 80 more to go. So
I think now we probably made a good choice doing 4 at a time.
yeah, I guess, yeah, right. 20 more streams and we have done every single monster. Yeah, this is cool.
And when you put it that way, it seems it seems feasible.
Yeah, it kind of even sounds like if someone will be a really dedicated guy, it sounds like a month of streaming, to be honest. Like every day, but yeah.
All right. Okay. I think. What the heck?
Nice.
Let's compare my screenshots and take those down. Put these all
Put
on
them a
one.
little more to the back. Could you move them a little bit more to the right, all of them?
Yeah.
Because I'm cropping the screen, so now they will all be visible. Yeah, I can see some similarities, but I guess this is because we had the same starting point. But yeah, oh, this is cool. This looks cool.
Right. There we go.
Can you move also the dog to the right a bit more, like above the red guy? Yeah, the dog. A bit more. More. Like closer to the fallen one, because like the screen. Oh, okay. Now it's visible. Yeah, okay, so I guess it will be all for today. So thanks anyone who stepped by and who decided to watch or draw something with us.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed it more than I anticipated, to be honest, especially since I drew my first female character ever. So it's a milestone for me. and
I've had so much fun as well.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Way
to the
more
stream.
to come for sure. Like, I'm more than
Yes.
sure we have to finish like 80 more monsters.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have a whole beastie at the end.
And then I will manage somehow to get the guy who designed the original monsters for Diablo to critique all of our like things. So
Yeah.
I will try to do it somehow later. So yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone. Just remember to subscribe if you enjoyed or something like this. And
Thanks.
yeah, to the next time, and yeah, goodbye.
Thank you, Eric. Bye.
Okay, I